Look at the title of the lecture. My stewardship, the people, the transformation. To some literary minds, you need not have read the corpus and the totality of the lecture before you are able to read into the body of the text of the lecture at the level of the title. And being able to do that, engaging with the author of a particular piece of work at the level of the title, speaks volume about particular status of the author of the piece of literary work. You know, what we are seeing, it reflects three interrelated issues. Number one is that the gentleman scholar, administrative aficionado, that is Professor Olanrewaju FAGBOHUN, son is, he wants to tell us what he, as if we didn't already know. But that's not the main issue why he wants to engage with us. He wants to be able to tell us how he has been able to achieve what we believe he has been able to achieve. What has been the formula? To me, wanting to give account of stewardship, what we have been doing over the years, for the past almost 5 years, to others like this, smacks of not just ordinary form of humility, but what we prefer to refer to as dignified humility. Appreciate him, please. Appreciate him. In the course of doing that, ladies and gentlemen, he wants to be able to justify his raison d'etre as an intellectual to the force. He wants to establish parameters for role modeling. Appreciate him again. I mean, you can never be tired of appreciation of this kind. He's talking about intellect. You know, some 3 centuries ago, 17th century, there was this French mathematician who happens to be also proverbially known as a socio-political philosopher. I'm talking about René Descartes. René Descartes. He said something like, cogito ergo sum. Ẹ fara balẹ̀. Ẹni tó bá sọ ìbò ńlẹ̀ àná, òun ló máa túmọ̀ ẹ̀. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. How is that relevant here? I will get to know. I will explain. You know, of late, one of my people from, I'm sure, one of my people from Akoka is here. He used to be part of this university also. Dr. Waziri Adisa. You know, some of these things I'm saying, he will be comfortable with them. You know, he engages with me, with postgraduate students. at the theoretical level of discourse. So these are some of the things we play with. I'm unleashing to the audience. Cogito ergo sum. It's another way of saying in my own way, all academics are all academics, but all academics are not all intellectuals. Being strictly an academic, you are in a particular, you claim to be a member of a particular epistemic knowledge-seeking community as a job, not necessarily as an end in itself. But to be able to attain the kind of achievements we're celebrating as personified by Professor Olanrewaju, FAGBOHUN, here today, you must be in conformity with the notion of cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. All these achievements you have been able to record. Take a look again at the bit about I think, therefore I am. You juxtapose that expression with the bit about metaphorical expression. Honorable Justice, Oguntade, I know, you are enjoying, I strongly believe the Honorable Justice is enjoying himself. He's a jurist of proverbial international dimension. The pen is mightier than what? Than the sword. It's in conformity with the Descartesian expression, cogito ergo sum. If you want to achieve anything in life, it starts at the cerebral level, your capacity. That's what the gentleman scholar, administrative aficionado, congeal in the person now of the Vice Chancellor. I hate to refer to him as outgoing. You know, come January, I said it yesterday, we'll be more comfortable referring to him as Vice Chancellor Emeritus. Appreciate him again for that, please. He has earned it. All these accolades, he has earned. What drives him to be able to achieve is his requisite cognate cerebral capacity, complemented by high level of cognition. He will be saying, put a call to me, my pro-chancellor, Oga, hey, how do we go about it? You know, when you are responding to him, please don't blush, Mr. Vice Chancellor. He will say, I'm fond of relating with him. Well, anytime you say, you have said something, you know, that he's saying, Osheki. You know, you have hit particular something in his psyche. He will say, But it's not all the time he says so. You know, sometimes he will say, but why don't we look at it this way? I will say, yes. By the time he will land, I will now unleash a proverb. You know, I will say something like, Ọgbọ́n ọlọ́gbọ́n ni kò kí jẹ́ kí pé àgbàlagbà ní wèrè. You know? So, I mean, you know, he was saying something when he was being celebrated at Radisson Blue Hotel. Something like he's going to miss us. Who are we not to miss you? We are going to miss you. But as we are going to miss you, we have contingency plan as to mitigate, our depth and dimensions of missing you. Hence, I came up with that designation yesterday, Vice Chancellor Emeritus. I'm sure the likes of the civil professor Bukola will not disagree with that, you know. So, I mean, don't let me get carried away. I know the MC will not have the effrontery to stop me because I'm using my mandate as chairman of the occasion, and I won't abuse it. For now, I want to appreciate you again. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Yes, can we appreciate the chairman of council and chairman of today's occasion? Yes, I dare not stop the chairman if I want to continue to be a staff of this last week. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, we have the First Lady of Ogun State here with us. She was here 2 days ago, and she's already here assisted. First Lady of Ogun State, Her Excellency, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun. Thank you so much, man. We are sorry for that breaching protocol. Also here, we have one of the founding fathers of Lagos State University. We have read about him, and also a former Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University. We have Professor Abisogunle. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Then also with us, we have Professor Bidemi Bilikis Lafiaji Okunaye, Provost Accord. You are welcome, man. Then this man here, he was our university librarian when I was also here as a student, Mr. Alaji T.A.B. Serifi, founding university librarian. You are welcome, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. We have Bello Olasumbo, managing partner, Bello Olasumbo and Associates. You are welcome, man. Sorry, I have members of governing council who has just joined us. I have Barrister Adebayo Akinsonya. You are welcome, sir. Member of Governing Council, Lagos State University. We also have Mr. Adeshoye Folashade, Member of Governing Council, Lagos State University. You are welcome, sir. Mrs. Omotayo Olabenjo, Member 10th Governing Council, LASU. Thank you, ma'am, for coming. Chief Mrs. Vivian Amadive, CEO, Industrialist. I'm told she came all the way from Anambra because of the Vice Chancellor. Thank you so much, ma'am. We have Mr. Sulaimon Aribabu, former LASUSU president. We call him Bruno. I hope he's here. Bruno, you are welcome, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Yes, I know we have Olori Olamide FAGBOHUN. Thank you so much, my Olori. Mr. Yinke Fashikwe, Chief Consultant, Health School. You are welcome, sir. We have this former principal officers who work with the Vice Chancellor before their tenure expires. I have with us here the former University Registrar, Mr. Akin Lewis. You are welcome, sir. We also have Mr. Adetayo Azan, former Bossa. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Yes, we have all the way from Ogun State. He was a former UL University Librarian and UL Olabisi Onabanjo University. He came because of the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Adebambo Oduwole. Yes, we will continue with the program and take more of this recognition later. We are going to have a little adjustment to the program. We'll be taking goodwill messages, and I'll be inviting eminent personalities to talk for just 2 minutes about the Vice Chancellor. Today, the Vice Chancellor is the one celebrating, is the one we are celebrating, and we want people to just see 1 or 2 things about the Vice Chancellor. And in no other particular, the first person I'll bring on board is our former Chancellor, Justice Oguntade. I don't want to call him George. It's like he's not too disposed to George. Justice Oguntade. Thank you so much, sir.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with humility, I want to say I thank you very much for being quiet in welcoming me. You will have recalled that about 3 years back, I joined the council of this body. And in the period wherein I served, I worked with the present retiring Vice Chancellor. From him, I learned a lot. I had been a judge, I had sentenced, but I learned still more from him on this occasion. I also have behind me one old, wise man. He is behind me, and I'm sure that all of you know him very well. His wisdom transcends mine. And once again, I want to congratulate our old man. Thank you very much for what you've been doing. Well, you clapped for me when I was called to stand up, but I want to say that I'm nowhere. I have retired as Chancellor here, and I was also retired as the High Commissioner in England. I am now a friend of all of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I solicit your support in ensuring that the standards raised by the retiring Vice Chancellor are not eroded. We must support what he has done. We must fly his kite to the unbeatable level. Therefore, I want to ask you to sing for my friend. Please stand up. Shake, let us be friends. Let us forget all days of sorrow. Shake, let us be real friends forevermore. We respect you. We wish you very well. God will lift you up higher and higher. God bless you. You've done well in your profession. I'm also aware that you've done well in the bar. I appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. The next person I will bring up is the Corps Marshal, Dr. Bubuyi Oyeyemi, for 2 minutes, sir.
The chairman of the occasion, and because of time, let me stand on the existing protocol. I must congratulate the celebrant today for this valedictory lecture. I'm supposed to be attending the Joint Tax Board meeting, but I had to delegate somebody to fly down from Abuja to come and honor our partner here. I must congratulate you. Since the VC came on board, the Federal Road Safety Corps, we have established a very strong bond and working relationship, especially with the School of Transport. And I was privileged to deliver the first lecture series. And with this, we've raised a lot of issues for the school to do, to have a driving school and to have a workstation for the driver's license. And I believe all these things will be done, is in process. I believe a legacy has been established in respect of today's events. And I must commend the university community for the peaceful coexistence within the last years. The LASU was noted negatively before, but LASU now is noted for high-level discipline and achievement. I must congratulate the VC for this. The grace of God has made all these things. Without wasting time, I believe the new VC coming, and I must thank the chairman for some comments you made this morning. And I was privileged to see the school item there. Shining service in truth for humanity is a very strong word. And also a role model established already. Our big brother, the VC, I wish you well. Congratulations. May the good Lord Almighty be with you, because time will not permit me if I continue to talk about you. And I must congratulate you too into the body of National Productivity Order of Merit. even though you are my senior, but I'm senior you in respect of that, because we have the same badge. Congratulations, sir. And as the VC, you got your Senior Advocate of Nigeria. You have blazed the trail. Congratulations. We wish you well and your family. Thank you very much, and best wishes.
We are LASU. We are LASU. Yes, please let us still know that we are celebrating the Vice Chancellor. Like the Chairman Council said yesterday, he is now the Vice Chancellor Emeritus. Can we appreciate him, please? Yes, like I said, we have people who are joining us online. I said before, we have Professor Shabdin Amuwo is joining us online. And then we also have Professor Akim Ibikunle Tijani, who will get some more other names for us as the program progresses. I want to bring on board the Chairman House Committee on Education, Honorable Yinka Ogundemo.
Well, I stand on existing protocol, and I say congratulations to our Vice Chancellor. Well, I want to really bless those who has discovered this man, Professor FAGBOHUN. Whether by design or by accident, anyhow, they have done us a great deal. To have brought him out of his shell to come and really head this great institution, he has redefined what university administration meant to a lot of people. As if it's so simple like that. But he made it so easy, so simple, and so interesting. A lot of people now, they want to be Vice Chancellor because of the way you have carried everybody along in your administration. Not only within the university community, even outside the university. I can attest to his relationship with us in Lagos State House of Assembly. Not only that, with the executive. He has really given his best, his all, to have attained this particular level we are in LASU today. We've got no choice than to leave everything we are doing to be here to celebrate this wonderful man. As you are looking at him, I don't want to see him as an ordinary person again. I'm seeing him as an angel sent to us in this university. You have set a standard. You have attained what is unattainable. You have redefined the direction of this university. And I can tell you that whoever that is coming, you have really brought out a standard that they have to meet. You have really set what we know as something that we have to copy. We appreciate you. We honor you. We adore you. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, sir, Honorable Ogundemo. I want to tell you, we have just started. Yes, I want to bring another touch to the speech here, and the person I'm bringing on board is a big fish, and in Lagos State University, we call him Distinguished Professor, Mr. Quality Assurance. I want to call on Distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola for 2 minutes.
The double chairman of today, chairman of the occasion, and chairman of council. A great chairman of council indeed. I've been in this university since it started in 1984. I've seen so many vice chancellors. I have been acting vice chancellor of this university myself. when we take a measure of the success of all the vice chancellors that God has blessed this university to date, none of us can match the achievements of Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN. I'm sitting next to Professor Lee. Professor Lee and I did some arithmetic. Visi, please sit down, sir. And I asked him, oh, you did very well, Professor Lee. I did passably well. We took them one by one, from Professor Folabi Olumide to date. And on all our measures, Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN stood out clear. But you see, when you are assessing leaders, in a little while you'll be seeing a chronicling or a catalog of his achievements. You'll be seeing this in a little while. I think there's a video to show us, and also in his valedictory speech. When you look at attributes that make leaders to succeed, we come up with all manner of characteristics. We say, oh, the person is very friendly, the person has welfare of staff at heart, he can relate with unions, he can relate with students, he can do everything. But what we miss out, and I tell you how I've been able to get that factor. Between 2001 and 2006, while I was executive secretary of the National Universities Commission, we used to have a panel, an international panel, that assesses all the vice chancellors in the Nigerian university system on all measures: prudence, ability to generate resources, ability to maintain stable academic calendar, infrastructure, and all of those measures. And we're given the awards until I left office. Indeed, if NUST still has that award, nobody among the 176 university vice chancellors we have today can win that award except Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN. So what I've found is that the critical factor for success is nothing else than God's favor. God has favored Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN so generously that he has succeeded as much as we are documenting him today. But I tell you something, you have seen nothing yet in the life of this man. You have seen nothing yet because by his name, Olanrewaju, you think his Ola will stop at this bus stop? No. We'll keep going higher and higher and higher in Jesus' mighty name. God will keep you, sir. It's my boss. God will keep you. I have two bosses, himself and the pro-chancellor and chair of council. Indeed, I learned something from you, sir. Professor Adebayo Ninolowo. I chair the council of the biggest university in the whole of Africa. That's the National Open University of Nigeria. We enroll over 530,000 students. And I have a vice chancellor who will be leaving about the same time. And the man has done so well. And I was wondering, how can I keep this man indirectly? And so when I heard from the brilliant Professor Ninolowo that he's hoping that our VC here will be an emeritus vice chancellor. So I said to myself, I wrote a memo to council of now today that we have a meeting coming up shortly. I'm going to make a proposal to the council of now, because it's not going to be by verbal proclamation in a gathering like this. It has to follow a process that I'm going to make a proposal to that council for the appointment of that vice chancellor as emeritus vice chancellor. So I'd like to thank you, sir, for giving me that very, very brilliant idea. Once again, vice chancellor, God will continue to bless you. God will continue to take you to great heights. And God will keep us all to keep celebrating you at those higher heights. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I said it before, LASU, we are always setting the pace. Yes, we have set the pace for now. So other universities will also join us. I want to also mention that some other persons, eminent personalities, are joining us via Zoom. I have the CMD LASU, Professor Adetukumbo Fabanwo. You are welcome, sir. Also here with us presently, we have Chairman LASU Alumni Board of Trustees, Mr. Fatai Shonoike. You are welcome, sir. And I've been told that Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello has also joined online. You are welcome, ma'am. Then, about 5 minutes ago, over 100 people have joined us. I know it must have been more than that, maybe close to 150. And that's why we decided to say we don't want to have too many people in this place. I know if you want to invite everybody to come here, this place will not contain everybody. Thank you so much, sir. For 2 minutes, I have 2 more people or 3 more people to talk. I have Professor Balogun for 2 minutes, sir. Do we have Professor Balogun here with us? Oh, sorry, sir. Professor Balogun, sorry, sir, for just 2 minutes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Can we appreciate him, please? Yes, after him, the founding father will speak. 2 of them, I'm going to call 2 of them, Professor Lee and Alhaji Seriki. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, the double chairman of this occasion, Professor Nino Lowo, our father, Justice Ogunde. We cannot thank you enough because the appointment of Professor FAGBOHUN was because you did it and you did it right. The problem that we encounter in the leadership of our universities today can be linked with the person that was given the opportunity to be at the saddle of the university. I want to congratulate you that you are still alive to witness today, to see the good work that you did by not succumbing to pressure, both ethnic pressure, political pressure, but went ahead, did the exercise, and brought out the best, among the best who applied for the job. I also want to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. I've never met Professor FAGBOHUN in my life. I woke up 5 a.m. in Abuja one night, and I received a text message that you have never met me, Professor Balogun, but I've been shortlisted for the Vice Chancellorship race of LASU. I want to solicit that you be my mentor, that you tutor me for the next 2 weeks on what it takes to be a good leader. The rest is history. I took time to spend over 10 good hours on telling him about the rudiments of leading a university in the capacity that I've been shortlisted. I gave him some tips, some warnings, and also told him that I will usually be available to render advice as and when necessary. Today, I'm happy to hear from Professor Peter Okebukola that if the NUC can go back and do the assessment of all the vice chancellors who had already passed through the same route with him, Professor Olanrewaju FAGBOHUN will lead all of us. I cannot agree less. For bringing peace to this university is not a small achievement. We know what Lasu was before he became the Vice Chancellor. And where there is peace, there will be progress. And that is what we have witnessed. We can only hope that this country will not forget to bring on board to our education system in Nigeria, not at the state level now, that everybody know that we have achievers. It should not be allowed to just leave LASU and leave LASU like that. He has a lot. He's still young. He has a lot to offer. May the Lord Almighty continue to brighten your way, and may LASU continue to go from height to height. This is just the beginning. We also pray that whoever is going to take over from him will be able to surpass his achievements. Still having Professor Nina Lowo at the helm of affairs, I believe that he has seen what it means to do it and do it right. That if the same thing is done, LASU will never regret. Rather, what he has achieved will just be a stepping stone for the new coming Vice Chancellor. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, sir. I said it before, I'm going to bring two, one of them founding father, another one founding father as well, because he established the university library here in Lagos State University. Before I bring on board Professor Lee, let me quickly recognize Honorable and Mrs. Roti Mabiru, Honorable Member, Lagos State House of Assembly. You are welcome, sir. Thank you so much for coming. I also have a member of Governing Council, Mr. Ridwan Motalen Mustafa, Deputy Registrar, Lagos State University. Thank you so much, sir. I have Professor Biodun Akinpelu, Director, Center for DNS, is here with us. Thank you so much, sir. I have Professor Kari Ale here from Faculty of Law. You are welcome, sir. I have Professor Nofa Ludo Akin is here with us. Professor Danoye Oguntola Laguda, one of my lecturers here when I was a student here in LASU. You are welcome, sir. I have, thank you so much. I also have Professor OTF and Abanikonda, who came all the way from Ekpe. I think he joined us later. He's also here seated. Professor Abanikonda, you are welcome, sir. Now let me bring Professor Lee, one of the founder of LASU, Abisogun Lee, for just 1.5 minutes, sir. Thank you so much.
The chairman of the occasion, Professor Nina Lowo. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to mention one or two individuals on the high table who really must be accorded some level of respect. Your Excellency, the former chairman of the chancellor here, I'm referring to my friend, Justice Shola Oguntade. The chairman of the Committee on Education in the House of Assembly, Professor Okebu Kola. We are talking about success of LASU. And some people also spoke about success of my tenure. Tí eégún bá ń jó lórí omi, kí ló máa ń sọ pé wà lábẹ́lẹ̀? Peter Okebukola. I cut off all these professor. Let me call him what I really call him. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for what you did when I was acting here as Vice Chancellor. All the team of my dear son, those who have produced these marvelous results that we see here, I want to thank you. I am sure you are expecting me to. Yes, sir. I must talk about you too. Thank you very much for the work you're doing to keep our transport smooth and moving well. I represent two camps here. Yes, they have referred to me as one of the founding fathers. And I think it's about time I begin to claim it. Somebody should clap for me, please. Under my Oga, Alhaji Lateef Jakande, that visionary leader, when the man pulled me out of University of Ife to serve as the chairman of the Economic Council of Lagos State, and later as the chairman of the Public Service, Civil Service Commission, I didn't know that Providence will push me in the way that will be spoken about so much in the future. We talk about founding fathers of LASU. Majority of those of us who worked on that project and have now passed to the great beyond. But I want to mention one person, Professor Afoche of Education. I believe he was the very first dean, no, the second dean of that faculty. He was on that committee too when we did all the work that we did. And of course, we thank God Almighty that LASU is here now. Every time I looked at LASU, particularly your new college anthem, and you mentioned for service and truth, I thank God for giving me that flash of inspiration in that particular era to put that phrase in my report. So when you sing for truth and service, please remember that Professor Lee put that there under this thing. But it's all not about me. I am only referring to those that we refer to as founding fathers. Alhaji Lateef Jakande, Ọlọ́run àtúbọ̀ bá láyé ẹ̀mí wọn. A standard leader. We learned a lot from him. And I can see a copy or a direct clone of that in the celebrant of the day. My abro, my son, Professor Lanre Adigun FAGBOHUN. This young man has actually raised LASU to a height that the founding fathers should be proud of. We are very proud of him. The second category, of course, is the group of those who have been chanced to preside over the administration of LASU. And I don't have anything to say further. Professor Peter Okebukola has done that for me. I concur totally. There were good times, but this is the best time. This is the best time. This is the best time. We thank God Almighty for giving him the courage and the humility to incorporate ideas and advice from different people. I recognize seated on the floor there, another founding father of LASU. I'm talking about Seriki, because without all the records that this man kept about LASU, I don't think we'll be able to achieve so much. Now, Professor FAGBOHUN, I thank God for you. I have been in that seat before, but you have done better. You are the best so far. And when I say you are the best, I want to reference all these gentlemen and women who stood by you. But you have provided the leadership. This is what is missing in Nigeria today. We thank God. Can we please give him a round of applause? They've said it all. His shadow is not going to grow less. You can see I am getting tired of speaking English. I have spoken that so many years. So, Adigun, Omo FAGBOHUN, Omo Akesan, Omo Ba, Okpon Wale, Ọlọ́run Akpon Ele, Ọlọ́run Akpon family Ele. Yesterday, mo bá wọn náà sọ̀rọ̀, ó ṣe gan tó jẹ́ ká rí ọmọdé yìí lò láti ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn. Iwájú lọ́pọ̀ ibi tí yín máa rí sí. The chairman of council, please continue with the good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Wani enu agbalobi ngosi. Thank you, sir. Let me quickly bring Alhaji T.A.B. Seriki. While is Alhaji T.A.B. Sir, you can come, T.A.B. Seriki, the former university librarian, the founding father of this university as well. He created the university library. We welcome all our students from Faculty of Law. We are LASU. Students from Faculty of Law, can you wave your hand, please? We also have Comrade Fumi Sesi, NLC chairperson, Lagos State. You are welcome, ma'am.
The chairman, all other protocols duly observed. I'm always very emotional when I try to talk about Larry, because I was very involved from the beginning. Professor Lee was just being humble. Professor Olanrewaju FAGBOHUN started, he planned for this job, he worked for it, and did well. Like Professor Lee said, he consulted widely and sought advice. I'm delighted that Professor Olanrewaju was the chairman of that interview, and the other members of the panel also spoke very well about Professor Larry FAGBOHUN. I don't want to get it on that. But what is important is that for any position anybody aspires to, you just don't go to just dress it up, you prepare for it. He did. And Professor Lee I said many things I would have loved to say, but here is a very humble man who joined LASU. Apart from the fact that I was on the Lagos State Scholarship Board with a late Kabesi. When Larry came to LASU, he stopped by my office and said, Daddy told me about you. And that was how I knew Larry from day one. And anybody who has had the opportunity of relating with him, we know that he is well brought up. Well brought up. When I heard that he was completing his term, I said, so it's only 5 years? And he made it a point of duty to send us annual report. Even when I was here, I didn't have the opportunity of having the annual report of the university. Larry pursued the annual report from day one when he assumed duty, and the annual report comes out every year. I'm expecting this for the last one now. To the extent that when I was discussing with one of the former vice chancellor, and he told me, he said, come, TAB, it seems we did not work the way this boy is working. I said, you are right. That is Larry for you. I thank you for God's guidance on you. Your humility actually played a lot in being able to govern LASU. When we were here, when I'm going to work in the morning, nobody was sure whether we'll come back. And when you come back, you are back today, thank God. But here is a situation, I think those of you who watched, I wasn't privileged to watch the video. I said, anybody who is coming after Larry has an enormous job to do. First, to meet up his standards, and then build on it. It is an Herculean task. And I wish whoever is coming, God bless him. I cannot end this without paying compliment to the Post Chancellor. You are the chair of this interview, and you are lucky to have a second term. From my little knowledge, because I'm getting old now, from my little knowledge, I don't think there's any vice chancellor who has had 2 terms. I doubt it. I mean, any Post Chancellor who has had 2 terms. I stand corrected. I doubt it. Here we have a Post Chancellor who has just been given a second term. That shows your level of performance. And I appreciate you, sir. Once again, I'm very delighted to be here, and I wish LASU more successes in future. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. I will seek for the indulgence of the chairman of today to take the last person. And the last person is our First Lady from Ogun State, Her Excellency, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, sir, the Pro-Chancellor of Lagos State University, and the outgoing Vice-Chancellor, Professor Larry FAGBOHUN. I am very honored to be making these remarks in honor of the distinguished outgoing Vice-Chancellor of the Lagos State University, Professor Olanrewaju FAGBOHUN. With a stellar career spanning over decades, Professor FAGBOHUN is a model for leadership, achievement, and service. It is therefore fitting that we give honor to whom honor is due, recognizing achievements where we see it. I remember attending his inaugural lecture about 8 years ago and was struck by his clarity of thought, especially in the field of environmental governance. This is an area which not only is he one of the best in Africa, but perhaps around the world. I believe that we need this kind of clear thinking in resolving some of the huge problems we face as a nation. And I do hope that Professor will continue to be of service not only to the academic community, but also to our country, Nigeria. I want to congratulate Professor FAGBOHUN for his academic as well as his administrative achievements, as all the previous speakers have spoken, for discharging his duties and obligations to this university and to society in general, and for leaving an enduring legacy of excellence at the University of Lagos. You have set a good example for others and a high bar for people coming behind you to follow. And I am sure that, well, I thank God for his mercies. You have set a good example. And I pray that as you go into the world, leaving LASU, but not leaving LASU behind, LASU going with you, that you will continue to carry the banner and blaze the banner for University of LASU as you have brought it to number 2 in Nigeria, because I recall that when you came in 5 years ago, I don't think it was on the charts anywhere. So congratulations to you, Professor FAGBOHUN, for what you have done, for bringing LASU to where it is, and for where you are going. God bless you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. The chairman, sir, I will seek for your indulgence again to move to the next item on the, yes, sir, thank you, sir. The registrar already earlier mentioned, even the chancellor too, the pro-chancellor, that we have, distinct Professor Kubukola said, we have achievement of the vice chancellor. We'll watch it for about a few minutes and then we will now come to the business of the day. Presentation of notable achievements of the vice chancellor. UMC, you can take it over. Thank you.
Olanrewaju, Adigun, FAGBOHUN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, a National Productivity Merit Award winner of 2019, was appointed the 8th Substantive Vice Chancellor of this Citadel of Learning on the 6th of January 2016. He assumed duty on the 11th of January 2016, fully armed with his 5 strategic imperatives, which are restoring peace to the university, fostering high-level scholarship and creating new knowledge, consolidating on previous gains, developing clear roadmap for attracting funds, and making LASU a valued partner to the Lagos state government and the nation. Today, we can boldly say that all these have been achieved. Highlights of the activities in Lagos State University within the past 5 years under the watch of Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN, SAN, NPOM. Mr. Vice Chancellor lived up to his promise of inclusive governance and inaugurated over 34 working committees that are still operational and helping to move the university to greater heights through robust engagement. There was the campaign against cultism, and under the watch of the Lagos State University Directorate of Advancement, the university community came together to organize another campaign tagged Clean Up LASU as corporate social responsibility. To ensure stability of governance, backlog issues relating to certificate collections were cleared. His administration ensured that vast majority of produced certificates were collected and a one-stop certificate collection system where graduates collect their certificates on the day of convocation ceremony was initiated. Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN, SAN, NPOM, established good working relationship with the Lagos State government, ministries, departments, and agencies. Quality assurance workshops were organized for the various arms of the university. Training programs were run concurrently. There was no dull moment in the university. This led to the reorganization and repackaging of academic centers, as well as resuscitation of several academic programs such as pre-degree studies, JUPEB, and Sandwich. Commencement of operations of the School of Agriculture and the takeoff of Lagos State University International School. The postgraduate school introduced viable academic professional courses. All these have repositioned LASU in the committee of universities, enhancing the employability and global competitiveness of our graduates. With the inauguration of the Directorate of Research and Innovation, there has been the annual LASU Research Fair, which was unhindered even during the post-COVID-19 era, as it was organized using hybrid sessions. The World Bank nominated LASU as the Africa Center of Excellence in Innovative STEM Education. The Open and Distance Learning and Research Institute for Virtual Learning has come to stay. There was the establishment of LASU Law Clinic, the first of its kind by any Nigerian university. The Lagos State government initiated the Ready, Set, Work program, an entrepreneurship and employability program for final year students aimed at addressing significant gaps in students' training by ensuring that they are immediately employable and, more importantly, able to contribute to the economy as job creators. The Lagos State University Career Development Center, LCDC, was created to chart career pathways that will produce employable and marketable graduates for the national and global relevance. The LASU Center for Entrepreneurship Studies was upgraded to the Directorate of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship. Our cutting-edge research have won a lot of grants for the university across college, schools, and faculties. We are engaging in robust partnership with national and international academic worlds. The welfare of the staff is ensured by the administration of Professor Olanrewaju FAGBOHUN. Promotion and reappointment of staff were regularly carried out for effective delivery of services. The 25th of every month is constant for salary payment. The 13th month annual bonus is a credit, and the provision of staff buses to commute staff enhanced staff efficiency. We cannot gloss over the following. 1, construction and rehabilitation of roads, completion of light-up projects of the university, institution of distinguished guest lecture series, celebrating the university scholars with CGPA of 4.5 and above, ensuring that the deliveries of inaugural lectures are unhindered, making the physical facilities conducive for all to work and to learn, enhancing security on campus by equipping the security unit with appropriate tools and equipment and the training of security personnel, documentation of annual activities and programs through the production of annual reports. LASU continues to produce for the state, the nation, and the international community researchers, vice chancellors, provosts, rectors, bursars, and political appointees who have made LASU proud in their various appointments. The alumni relationship with the university has been yielding fruitful results. The regularly monthly breakfast meeting with the leadership of the students has made for robust engagement with our world-class students who are now showcasing themselves in academics, sports, and other social media engagements globally. The periodical engagements with the various staff unions and the town hall meetings have prevented breakdown in communication among staff and management. All issues were always discussed before they got out of hand. This promotes mutual understanding. The benefactors are increasing daily, changing the outlook of our physical structures. We are now conserving our resources by navigating the paperless meetings. Also, adoption of e-payment model for all financial transactions in the university And all the activities in the university tend towards the use of technology. The unforgettable slogans of Professor FAGBOHUN's inclusive governance include, "We are LASU, we are proud. Our world-class students, my respected colleagues, my DVC, my dean, my director." Truly, Olanrewaju is his name. In 2016, he resumed and was always addressed as Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN. In 2017, he became the Aremo of Akeson land. In 2018, we addressed him as Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN, PhD, SAN. In 2019, the unwavering Vice Chancellor added another feather to his cap when he became a National Productivity Merit Award winner, and we now address him as Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN, PhD, SAN, and POM. In 2020, a year of the new normal, even with a total shutdown of all activities across the globe, this astute administrator with his management team went to the cloud with his staff and students. There was no academic and administrative shutdown. There were trainings, public lectures, conferences to unlearn, learn, and relearn the new normal approach to administration and academic activities. Little wonder, LASU is adjudged the second best university in Nigeria. We are here today to listen to this academic icon and an administrator with passion for inclusive governance as he gives account of his stewardship as the 8th substantive Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University. Indeed, we are LASU, and we are proud. We are LASU, and we are proud. We are LASU, and we are proud.
Thank you so much. I think the time is fast spent. I just want to say all professors here seated, we recognize all of you. We are sorry the Newsmax did not give us the opportunity to recognize a lot of you. Sorry, sir. Directors here present, Deputy Registrar, Deputy Bossers, senior staff here in the university, you are all welcome. Student union, union leaders, thank you so much. You are all welcome to this event. I will now hand over to the Registrar, Mr. Olayinka Amoni, to take the next one. Thank you, sir.
Pro-Chancellor, sir. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I crave your indulgence to adopt the already established protocol because our time is already fast spent. I am to introduce Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN to this distinguished audience. So I request that you please stand up as I present your citation. Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN, the 8th substantive Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University, is one of Nigeria's celebrated voices in the field of environmental law and advocacy for environmental preservation. A native of Akeson in the Alimosho local government area of Lagos State, where his father, His Royal Majesty Oba Tajuddin Abayomi Alabi FAGBOHUN Ogedengbe III, was the traditional ruler. Professor FAGBOHUN studied at the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, where he earned his Bachelor of Laws and obtained a Master's of Law at the University of Lagos. He later returned to the University of Ife to obtain his doctorate degree. He began his teaching career at the Faculty of Law of Lagos State University in 1991, where he lectured for 19 years at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels before joining the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, NILS, in 2009. At different times, Professor FAGBOHUN has served as consultant and task leader for the United Nations Environmental Program, the British Council, the European Commission, and the World Council on Genetics. His invaluable consultancy services have equally been made available to the University of Nottingham, the Harvard Medical School, the National Judicial Institute, and several state governments in Nigeria, amongst others. He is an assessor, external examiner for PhD, MPhil programs of a number of universities in Nigeria. The University of Fort Hare, South Africa, and the University of Amsterdam, Netherlands. He is also on the board of Environmental Law Research Institute. Professor FAGBOHUN is a consummate academic and researcher who has, at this day, has over 198 academic publications in local and internationally reviewed journals to his credit. He has also co-edited 11 books and authored 2 books that have earned acclaims and enthusiastic praises from reviewers, namely The Law of Oil Pollution and Environmental Restoration, a comparative review, and his influential inaugural work, Mournful Remedies, Endless Conflicts, and Inconsistencies in Nigeria's Quest for Environmental Governance, Rethinking the Legal Possibilities for Sustainability. His writing and environmental activism have served as inspiration to budding scholars, political leaders, and other members of the society on the need to protect the environment. Amongst several others, Professor FAGBOHUN at different times was the chairman, Lagos State Local Government Election Petition Tribunal, member, Lagos State Water Regulatory Commission, chairman, editorial board, Petroleum, Natural Resources and Environmental Law Journal, editor-in-chief, NEAL's Journal of Environmental Law, vice chairman, African Regional Forum of the International Bar Association, regional representative, Africa, member, Regional Academic Network on IT Policies, Law and Policy Expert 2020 Summit on Global Policy Dialogue Platform Conference on Sustainable Development, and member, Expert Group for the Development of Climate Change Policy and Legislation for Nigeria. He was one of the 19 experts globally selected in 2012 to serve in the task that produced the International Bar Association publication titled Achieving Justice and Human Rights in an Era of Climate Disruption, which was published in July 2014. Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN has received several awards within and outside Nigeria, amongst which are National Productivity Order of Merit Award, Federal Government of Nigeria 2019, Senior Advocate of Nigeria 2018, Christiop Foundation's first annual award in recognition of his support and understanding towards the foundation in 2017, the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria Award of Excellence. Professor FAGBOHUN, who is an outstanding academic and a seasoned administrator, is married with children. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you an astute scholar, a vision conceptualizer, driver, and achiever, a quintessential leader of remarkable qualities, an uncommon welfarist, a man with candor, humility, and the finest gentleman. Please welcome with me to the microphone, Professor Olanrewaju Adigun FAGBOHUN.
Registrar, I thank you very much for your kind words. Permit me that opportunity to make some recognitions. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, and also the Chairman of today's event, Professor Adebayo Ninolowo and his amiable spouse, Mrs. Ninolowo. Her Excellency, the First Lady of Ogun State, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, His Excellency, Honorable Justice Adeshola Oguntade, immediate past Chancellor of our institution. Respected members of the Governing Council, I must note also, as has been stated earlier, Emeritus Professor Amuwo, who has joined online all the way from the United States, members of ESCO and House of Assembly here present. Specifically, I will make reference to the Chairman House Committee on Education, Honorable Yinka Ogundimu. I thank you so much, sir, for the support you have always given us. I also must recognize Honorable Rotimi Abiru and his amiable wife. Thank you so much for coming in. My lords here present, I saw Justice Olukayode Ogunjobi, and some of them also might be around. The Chief Executive FRSC, Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi, heads of other tertiary institutions in attendance, Professor Billy Dowu Okuneye is around. The former rector of Laspotech, Mr. Shogunre, is also here. I thank you. Distinguished members of the university management, I want members of the management to stand up. These are the people who did that work. Members of management, please stand up, please. Without these people, we would not have achieved anything. They stood with me stoically all through the period. I thank you. God will bless you. When they do the work, they give me their praise. When they do the work, they praise me. DVC Acad, DVC Admin, DVC Acad Professor Wahab Elias, DVC Admin Professor Oyida Molaoke, the Registrar, Mr. Yinka Amuni, the Bossa, Olayinka Said. Oh, he stepped out. And then the University Librarian, Dr. Adebayo. Thank you very much. Please sit down. Distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola, I will have cause to make reference to you as I go on for some of the things that you have done. Distinguished Professor Martins Anateke, let me use this occasion to formally congratulate you for your achievement yesterday. Members of Senate, former Vice Chancellors here present, Professor Abisu Gunli, Professor Lai Balogun. Let me tell you what is the link between Okebukola, Lee, and Balogun. From time to time, I mentioned that when I applied for this job, I moved out and I was trained for the interview I attended by 27 former vice chancellors, 27 of them. Because I've never been a vice chancellor before, and I didn't want to start off like Mongo Park. I wanted to start off where they stopped. I met 27 of them, both within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Those outside Nigeria, I met with them via Skype. Those within Nigeria, I visited them. The three of them are here this morning. Others are not here. But in my memoirs, you read about those other people. Now, let me mention a fourth person that is here. I'll say he's here through another person. When I prepared my CV for the position, I shared it with Alhaji T.A.B. Seriki. He said, for this job, is this your CV? Let me tell you, let me send you to a master of CVs. He sent me to Professor Adedipe. When I met Professor Adedipe, he took a look at my CV and said, let me give you a CV to look at. He brought his CV and I saw it and I tore my own CV. Alhaji T.A.B. Seriki, thank you very much, sir. Let me recognize a former acting vice chancellor of our institution who is also here. Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello, I welcome you. Provosts, deans and directors, Chairman Ceremonies Committee, Professor Abolade Adeniji, in the last 1 week plus, you have been under heat. Thank you so much for delivering on all the activities that we did. Thank you very much, sir. Former principal officers of the university that are here present, heads of department, professors and other academic staff, senior advocates of Nigeria. I saw my friend, Mr. Kayode Enito, SAN. Then I also saw my friend, Agbola. I welcome you all. Senior administrators and other non-academic staff, leaders of our great alumni, leaders of our great staff unions, and also the Students' Union. My wife is here yesterday, Miriam FAGBOHUN. Yesterday, please stand up for recognition. Thank you. Remove your mask. Remove your mask. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please sit down. I believe my siblings are already here. So also my stepmom is here. Olori, Moradeke FAGBOHUN, please stand up, Olori. Please. Remove your mask, let them see you. Olori, remove your mask. Yes. Wave to them, yes. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Thank you. If I want to go back home tonight without a query, go home without a query, I must recognize my mommy champ. Mommy champ, step forward. Mommy champ, remove your mask. Let them see you and face them. Yes. Mommy champ. Yes. Mommy champ is here representing Fikayo. She is here representing her brothers who are not in the country. That is Farouk FAGBOHUN and Samad FAGBOHUN. Our world-class students. So many friends and former classmates of mine are here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of our one, gentlemen of the press, I say good morning to you all. And with so much joy in me, I welcome all of you to this valedictory lecture. What is the goal of this valedictory lecture that I want to deliver? 4 things I want to achieve. 1, I want to remind us of how the journey has been and some of those ideals that we must continue to embrace for the good of our university. 2, I want to highlight some of our modest achievements for the records. 3, it is of importance that I thank each and every one of you for that support that you have given to me. It is critically important. 4, I want to signpost what I believe is the future of our great university. Those are the 4 things that I want to achieve. By prologue, sometime in January 2020, while reflecting on the fact that I will be completing my term as Vice Chancellor in about a year, it dawned on me that I should deliver a valedictory lecture. Not quite 2 weeks of nursing this thought, distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola OFR called me and noted the need for me to deliver a valedictory lecture, which will capture what the administration has achieved since January 11, 2016, and signpost my thoughts on the future we should seek. I smiled. 6 months later, distinguished Professor Martins Agenuma Anateka, that time he was not yet distinguished professor, he was Professor Martins Anateka then, knocked me along the same line. Again, I smiled. What dawned on me is that these distinguished professors, and I believe so many other members of our community, are desirous that we entrench a culture of valedictory lecture as part of the farewell for a departing Vice Chancellor. Indeed, since the university was established in 1983, this is the first time a Vice Chancellor will deliver a valedictory lecture at the end of his tenure. I consider this a special privilege and honor, and I am thankful to Allah for giving me life and presenting me with this unique opportunity. Today is a day I will cherish for all times. My introduction. 2 weeks into my assumption of office as the Vice Chancellor of our great institution, I ushered into my office a woman in her late 50s. No sooner than she entered into my office, she broke down in tears, knelt down and held my feet. Of course, I know it's a taboo in African culture for an elderly person to kneel down or prostrate for a younger person. Thus, I quickly rushed to raise her up and gently helped her into a seat. Her story dampened my spirit. Her daughter came first at an interview, but was rejected. The unstated reason for the rejection, as she learned from an insider, was because she finished from a university that the company would not like to associate with. Her words, VC, help me. 7 years for a 4-year program wasted. Please help me. Continue to echo in my head till this day. I knew that my incoherent expression of sorry on that day was grossly inadequate to assuage her mood. Almost around the same time, I had a trip that took me to one of the Ivy League institutions in the United States. At that first meeting and following their due diligence, they were not prepared to go into any relationship with our university. However, I wouldn't leave the meeting until I had requested that they keep our file in view for 1 year. 9 months later, they signed with us. I will not shy away from the fact that I knew we had challenges as at the time I was appointed. I noted this much in my inaugural address at my appointment. And this was what I said. Regrettably for us in LASU, we have far too often been derailed by disunity, incoherence of purpose, and the pursuit of mundane primordial interests. We have, for selfish personal gains, undermined one another and pursued the model of appeasing ourselves for the short term to the detriment of the primary objectives of our great institution and our long-term performance. I dare say that if we keep on this path, the ultimate narration of our story will be one of self-destruction. We are all culpable in this macabre dance of emptiness that has left in its trail a legacy of ugly developments. That was my statement in 2016 January. What I did not realize was the depth of the practical implication of the several years of ugly development. Today, the story has changed. From an institution a preferable future. Such was the vision captured in what I called the Green Book. Jerry is always fond of referring to that Green Book, which has translated into what we see today as the Lagos State University. The path to realizing this transformational agenda required that we organize a series of meetings and events where I had opportunity to enunciate the goals and strategies for implementing the vision's 5 strategic imperatives. Through the sharing of stories and personal examples, backed by my management, we were able to share with respected colleagues administrative tools and practical acts that are critical to building a respected academic institution. It was not lost on me that as Vice Chancellor, it is my responsibility to have the university community and other critical stakeholders buy into my vision and run with it. I have always known that people are hardwired to listen to stories, and once the message gets to them, they will begin to take action. I wanted us to have academics and administrators who in abundant measure are patient and kind in the way of life, but firm on principles. I wanted us to have students who could voice their grievances unhesitatingly, but with respect and admiration for the well-being of their institution. The fruition of the above approach is what has changed our university and caused a positive shift in ways few would have thought possible. I will come back in a moment to identify the strategic imperatives. At this juncture, it is instructive to note that one of the first critical tasks that engaged the Governing Council was how to quickly put in place another strategic plan to replace the 2010 to 2015 strategic plan, which expectedly was to serve as the compass anchoring the vision of the Vice Chancellor. At that point, it was all too obvious that the university was not in position to afford the cost of having a consulting firm to undertake the exercise. The Governing Council, therefore, readily leveraged on the versatility of distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola to guide the Committee of Council saddled with the responsibility. Distinguished Professor Okebukola worked with the committee at no cost and even printed the final document at his own cost. What is more significant, however, is the bottom approach adopted for the exercise, which enabled every member of the university to be a part of this, and thus sufficiently take ownership and be obligated to ensuring the success of the activities and processes that are involved. My point of emphasis here is that when people are sincerely made to be a part of a process, they will go the extra mile to make it work. People in LASU went the extra mile since 2016 to make this work, and I thank you. This is a fresh foundation we have laid that has produced an institution that is now viewed with respect and admiration. May I respectfully ask any member of the 10th Governing Council that is present in this hall to please stand. Any member of the 10th Governing Council. 10th. I saw Mrs. Olabenjo earlier in the day. Yes, yes. Please, ma, stand up, ma. Stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Yes. Please remove your mask. Let them see your face. These are some members of the 10th Governing Council. Thank you so much. Engineer Anibaba, at the back? Yes, Ms. Olabenjo, Mr. Mustafa. These are the people. These are the people. They were very firm on principles. You know, there's something that is very destructive of our nation. When people transgress, we have a begging culture. You see, a man will be bold to transgress. When he has committed the offense and is now caught, he will be going around asking people, please, sir, beg them for me. And we will always beg. If you transgress and you come to meet me, I will tell you that you have been bold in transgression, be bold in receiving the consequences. After identifying, and I'll come to the strategic imperatives. After identifying the historical, institutional, and routine strains and stresses that were confronting the university, I noted the 5 strategic imperatives which I believe will result in the desired transformation. Those have already been outlined. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if you ever felt that your dreams are much bigger than you and so distant and unreachable, that was how many felt at the beginning. This was what probably prompted one of my very old students, Dele Farotimi. I don't know whether Dele is around in the hall. Dele Farotimi, who during his stay in the university was the president of the Students' Union, and today a very successful legal practitioner, to ask me, Prof, why did you take this job? I have not come to see you in the last 1 year of your assumption because I think you are trying to achieve the impossible. Gazillion obstacles are standing in your way. You certainly do not know lasso. This is like trying to walk on the moon. That was what he told me. The Lagos State University of today is a proof that you can overcome anything. Was any of it easy? Certainly no. I focus every day of my thoughts, beliefs, and actions on the lasso of my dream and try to switch as many as possible of the people around me into the reconstruction of his reality. My wife, children, family members, and my close allies were the greatest victims. I had no time for them. I struggled in silence against my fears and anxiety, burdened with the knowledge that I must not fail. I was apprehensive, but I dare not show it because I knew the governing council, my colleagues, students, and a number of other critical stakeholders were depending on me to give them confidence. Today, the question on the lips of many are, how are we able to achieve so much within the space of 5 years? What tactics, strategies, methods, processes, and other governance approaches did we employ to surmount the unprecedented challenges and epidemic of unrest that was seriously threatening the cherished traditions and heritage of the institution? The answers to these questions are to be found in each of the imperatives, which we now discuss below. The first one, restoration of peace. Peace as a concept of social friendship and harmony is critical to the development of every organization and the attainment of personal goals. We therefore recognize that only a healthy academic environment could deliver the much envisaged transformation of our institution. Consequently, there are a number of small things we did that made the difference in promoting peace within the system. We developed catchy slogans, taglines, and rallying phrases mounted in strategic corners and corridors to challenge staff and students to act right. One of our taglines at a conversation with two members of the alumni is Bayo Ayo and Akim Anema Shaun around. Bayo Ayo and Akim Anema Shaun. Stand up, please, stand up. We are LASU, we are proud. Those are the innovators. I did not pay them for it, I will pay you later. Those are the innovators of We Are LASU, we are proud. We evolved a LASU anthem through a transparent democratic process. This anthem charges colleagues and students to action. Is Mr. Oludaisi David I know around? When we sing that anthem, Oludaisi David I know, is he here? That is the originator of that anthem. There were monthly breakfast meetings with student leaders, quarterly students' town hall meetings with members of management, provosts, deans, and directors in attendance to respond to questions from students. We introduced the smart bike. We introduced quite a number of other things, which included payment of different arrears and honorarium that have been outstanding in favor of staff for more than 8 years, consistent payment of end-of-year bonus to members of staff, issuance of letters of commendation to deserving staff and students. We organized interfaculty and inter-campus sports competition for staff and students, stopped external recruitment into positions to which we knew that staff could be promoted to guard against the problem of no vacancy, no promotion. We instituted the long service awards for staff. You know, the concept we have here is when people are happy, they will do remarkably well. It is not the case that when people have done well, then you want to make them happy. Make them happy, they will go to all ends. And that is the strategy that we've been using. We also ensured equitable access to intervention funds from bodies such as the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. I want to thank members of that particular body led by Professor Ikarale. Professor Ikarale, any member of the Tertiary, the TED Fund board, please stand up. Professor Ikarale was the chairman of that body. Please stand up. Thank you so much. They ensured not one day did I intervene. Even the desk officer, one day, he submitted his paper, he was not given. The desk officer of TED Fund, because they were very fair and transparent in what they did. The details of all these individuals you will find in the footnote in the publication that you have in your hand. There were also big issues that had for years traumatized the university community, which we had to deal with. The ambience of the university was a sorry sight. Many then were in the habit of denigrating the institution by referring to it as a glorified secondary school. For instance, the gaping potholes on the major road traversing the university, now Dr. Lateef Kayode Jakonde Road, were such that a car would conveniently be submerged in them. When it rained, movement within the campus was always a cause for concern. With no funds to meet the cost of revamping the road network, it was a huge dilemma. Yet, I was determined that we change that humiliating snide remark of glorified secondary school, which painfully had orientated us to no longer appreciate ourselves. We all lack pride in the surroundings of our institution, then knowing that people will judge us slatterns and slopes if we dare invite them to visit. After several failed attempts to get the support of potential benefactors, the thought came to me one day to speak with the then Chancellor, Honorable Justice Adeshola Oguntade, with a view to involving the then visitor to the university. His Excellency, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode. So it was, on the appointed day, I met with the visitor in the company of the Pro-Chancellor, in the company of the Chancellor, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the 10th Governing Council, Professor Adebayo Ninolowo, and the then Special Advisor on Education, Mr. Obafela Bankolemo. I had just two requests: revamp the entire road network of LASU and light up the university. The two were granted, and within 4 months of assumption, the Lagos State University was wearing a new look. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it was a game changer. Another major issue we had to deal with was the University External System Program, which had about 70,500 students trapped within it and unable to graduate. Some of the students have been in the system for close to 9 years without a clue as to their status. The embarrassment to the university and the state was such that the then visitor pointedly asked me at his very first meeting with me on 6th January 2016 on the plans I had to deal with the issue. I assured him that the huge restiveness of the students involved, together with their family and friends, will abate within 6 months. Upon assumption, together with my management, I set up a task force to work with the external system. Members of my management team at that time, who are present here, please stand up. Mr. Akinwumi Louis, Dr. Oduwole, DVC admin. Yes, those were the people. Yes, Alhaji Hassan, the bossa then. Those who are the driving force, please let them see you. Remove your mask. Let them see you. Those were the people who ensured that I did not work alone. I thank you so much. God will bless you. Thank you very much. Upon assumption, together with my management, I set up a task force to work with the external system. We leverage on technology. And every Monday, we had review meetings with both the task force and the external system team. As they say, the rest is history. But there's something I must say, which should be a lesson to all of us. When I assumed duties, the man who was at the helm of affairs at the external system was Professor Abanikonda. There have been issues between him and the unions. And a particular group, not all members of the union, a particular group were piling so much pressure on me that I should remove him. I should remove him. I should remove him. And this gentleman, at the end of every week, because he was also hearing it, at the end of every week, he will come to my office with his handing over notes. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I want to hand over. I'll say, I have not asked you for your papers. Go back to your office. And this happened for so many months. Because why would you just come in? Because of pressure of people who, for different reasons, I will make reference to it as I go on. They want you to remove somebody. And you as a leader, you want to dance to it. You should know what you want to do. And because if I did not do that, there will be no continuity of the process. The man will just walk out of his office and go because you have disgraced him for nothing that he has done. And I didn't want that to happen. Eventually, when we realized that we have stabilized, after about 6 months, I now called him and I said, Prof, I want to thank you for what you have done. I now want to appoint somebody to come in. He worked so well with the person who came in. That is Dr. Ogunquiton, Associate Professor. Where is Dr. Ogunquiton? Please stand up. Is Professor Abanikonda in the hall? Where are you, sir? Please stand up. That's Professor Abanikonda, the man who was there. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. If I had listened to them, meanwhile, some other people are urging me, listen to them, VC, these people, they will mess you up. Listen, I said, no, they are not God, and you cannot play God. I thank you so much. There were also the problem of staff outstanding promotions and career stagnation arising from institutional constraints and individual interpersonal factors. Not many will deny that employment and career development are important goals that can impact on satisfaction and self-esteem. Consequently, non-promotion of qualified employees can easily destroy peace, thereby resulting in unease and tension. We had to aggressively think through solutions without compromising on quality assurance. By the time you look at the tables in the material in your hand, you will see that between 2016 to 2020, we were able to promote between the graduate assistant and senior lecturer cadre, we were able to promote 236. And within the professorial cadre, associate professor and professor, we were able to do 209. When you go to senior staff, you will see that we were able to promote 903, inclusive of what we have looked at, plus or minus, for 2020. We were able to promote 903. In the case of junior staff, we were able to promote 1,346. Again, we have factored in what we expect for 2020, which we hold very shortly. Our open, honest, some people say, he should have stopped working in the last 6 months. And I asked them, I was appointed for 5 years. Until the last day, I'm expected to work. So what is the big deal? Our open, honest, and constructive approach to the above critical issues are what resulted in our 5 years of unbroken academic calendar. Between 2016 and today, the only time we had a strike by our staff unions was the 1.5-day agitation of September 2020 for payment of minimum wage. And Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, our visitor and governor of Lagos State, came in promptly to intervene to resolve that situation. I want, on the directive of this man, of the governor, His goal-oriented team, led by the versatile alumnus of our great institution, Mr. Akim Muri-Okunla, Head of Service, Lagos State, the Special Advisor on Education, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, and the Special Advisor on Labor and Industrial Relations, Mr. Babatunde Williams, immediately engaged with our workers and leaders of our great unions. By noon of the second day of the strike, the crisis was over. I must also place on record the role played by the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, through the House Committee on Education, ably led by Honorable Oluyinka Ogundimu, to ensure, Honorable, thank you very much, sir, to ensure that the issue did not degenerate. Incidentally, that strike occurred the same day the House of Assembly had a special session to commend the university on our global ranking. For LASU, the course of our several years of unending conflict and crisis has without doubt been quite significant. The unenviable track record of conflicts and crises stunted our growth and development. This was why my administration was aggressive in decisively dealing with underlying issues of injustice, inequality, and exclusion within the system. The dividends of the stability that later became LASU has been quite enormous too. The stable academic calendar produced a huge impact on the quality of education. Donors and benefactors became more confident to give support. Certificates and degrees awarded by institutions began to earn respect, both within and outside the country, thus giving joy to alumni and members of the public. The peace and stability that enveloped the university also rekindled both local and international collaboration and partnerships, as well as enabled the organization of non-academic programs that added value to students who are now sought after by the private sector as potential graduates for recruitment. It is gratifying to note that the state government, as a proprietor, now views the institution as a truly valued partner, and that was what Mr. Governor said yesterday. Notwithstanding this lofty height we have attained, it is not yet totally uhuru. It is disheartening that dislodged entrenched interests, who hitherto were benefiting from the instability and crisis that was LASU, continue to aggressively seek ways to cripple the peace. This toxic minority are still very much alive, and it is therefore of extreme importance that I sound this alarm so that we all can remain vigilant. They beat the drums of non-existent wars and crises on the pages of newspapers, leveraging on the support of few unscrupulous media practitioners who unfortunately lack the capacity to understand why they should stand for a good cause. They are uncritical in their reportage and only interested in the layup. I will explain the above further. The main function of staff unions is to ensure more favorable working conditions and other benefits for their members through collective bargaining, while that of the students' union is to see to the welfare of their student body. They are not to protect bad workers or bad students. Thus, when union leaders seek to teleguide every decision of a university management and the slightest opposition to their views, even in the maintenance of discipline, is perceived as persecution and must be met with disruptive self-help. It calls for worry. I will give 4 or 5 examples. Don't worry. You know, on Sunday in church, when chaplain, thank you, sir. When chaplain was talking about truth, stewardship, accountability, I said something. I said, and there was a song that Professor Akinpelu started. Who can remind me of that song? Arason, Ategun fe, I said they should stop. When Ara was sawing, where were you? Did you stand up? When Adigun was faying, did you stand up? When Ijija, did you stand up so that it will not carry us away? And I said, people will be telling me, VC sir, you are doing well. You are doing very well. Continue. I said, don't tell me quietly. Go out there and say it. And I said, I will mention names. But quite a number of people have met me that I should not mention names. What I will do is, I will take a middle part. I will tell you the one that was most hurting. I will tell you. The others, I will leave for some other days. Although when I leave as Vice Chancellor, I promised myself one thing. For 1 year and a half, I will not say a word, no matter what anybody says. I will not say a word. And that's why I must tell my story today, so that you can have snippets of it. But thereafter, even if you say I killed, I will not respond. Let them go and investigate. If I have killed, they will see it. Within 3 to 5 months of assumption of office, this small toxic group that is so vocal came up and said, I've committed 75 offenses. And they reduced the 75 offenses. They said they are summarizing it to 25. And they circulated it to everybody within 3, 4, 5 months. And I remember there was a day, the Chancellor, Justice Oguntade, called me to his house. He said, BC, I heard that you have committed 75 offenses. I said, sir, these things are not true. And I explained. And he said, BC, you're a lawyer. Go and put your response in writing and circulate it the way they have circulated theirs for the future. Papa, thank you very much, sir. That was what I did. And when I circulated my own, they did not respond. And another one, we were looking for money aggressively because we didn't have money. So students were going to some candidates were going to write qualifying exam on sandwich program to come to the university. Because they announced a warning strike, ASU announced a warning strike, we felt, don't let it appear as if we are confrontational. Don't let us do the qualifying exam on a weekday. Let us put it at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. That week that we did not do anything, UNILAG had an inaugural lecture. It was a warning strike. The warning strike was all over, but UNILAG had an inaugural lecture because it has already been pre-scheduled. They had it. Heaven did not fall. Nobody interrupted it. The morning of the qualifying exam for a university looking for money, they came to the venue, this small group of less than 15 people, and taught the scripts of all the students. It is on video. So if anybody argues it, Dr. Amo, you have it or you don't have it on video. So if visitation panel comes, I'll put it there. They taught the script. How can you, a lecturer, worthy of your rank as a lecturer, taught the script of somebody seeking to come into your university? It's a shame. Let me give you another, don't clap here, let me give you another one. When I came in and I met all the outstanding payments, I told them, I said, you have been pushing government to give you money to pay these outstanding payments in the last 8 years. Government has not answered you. You don't know government? Government is already moving on. They believe you should be able to manage your affairs because they are giving you the enablement. So do what you have to do. I said, we can generate this money. We will run this place effectively. we will generate this money and we will pay all the outstanding arrears. And I said, what we will do is, we'll pay something in 6 months, we'll pay another thing in another 1 year, and within a year and a half, everything will be paid. We are now aggressively starting new programs and getting people on board. I said, you are the people who will work for it, but we make that money. After I had made that promise, these toxic people announced and said every academic member of staff should go on leave at the same time. If they go on leave, who will do the work for us to make the money? It occurred to me that they wanted me to default in being able to make payments, and they will now say, this is a man who does not keep his words. And then they turned the entire university against me and destroyed the whole process. That was the agenda. But God helped me. I have always worked together with my deans. All the deans, directors between 2016 and 2020, please stand up. Stand up, these generals, stand up. Banji Fajayomi, all of you stand up. These are the generals. Wave, let them see you. Wave, turn around, turn around, turn around, let them see you. These were the remarkable people. Thank you, thank you. When I heard that they were doing that, I immediately called on my own generals to a morning meeting. I said, war is already here. Gentlemen, go back to your different units and hold your base. They went back. They got all their people to structure their leave period so that when somebody is going, another person is on ground. When somebody is going, another person is on ground. And we were able to achieve it. Guess the shame of this very minute group. They came back to my office when they saw that the deans and directors have already frustrated their plan. They came back and said, Mr. Vice Chancellor, let us agree that everybody has gone. We will not ask them to go again. But I said, there is nothing to agree. Your plan has failed. How can you now come to meet me after your plan has failed? You are now telling me, let us agree in principle that they have all gone, but we'll ensure that they don't go. I'm not a kid. I'm not a stupid person. I may not be as intelligent as you, but I have some bit of sense. My deans, once again, my directors, I thank you. This group, there was a graduate assistant. A graduate assistant. Graduate assistantship is the lowest cadre for academic staff to come in. This graduate assistant, one day I became aware that she slapped a student. Slapped. So I said they should call her for me. When they called her, thank God on that day, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and Professor Adeleke Fakoya were with me. I said, young lady, why did you slap your student? She was telling us all sorts of monkey stories. I said, what if the student slapped you back? Then there will be chaos on campus. Then the next thing this lady said was, I'm sorry, sir, I have a program at ASCON. I want to go. I said, you want to go? Just leave my office, go back to your faculty. When she got back to the faculty, the dean said she could not go anywhere. This lady went to this small toxic group and they told her, go, nothing will happen. And the lady went for the program. They countermanded the directive. When it happened, people were moved. People were telling me, VC, at that moment, some people said, Mumu Vice Chancellor. They called me Mumu Vice Chancellor. They said he does not know what he's doing. How can a graduate assistant flout your directive and you kept quiet? But I always say something to them. Temi yemi. I knew the goal. The goal was for me to join issues with them and then they erupt a crisis. So I kept quiet. I knew the day will come when this lady will want to renew. That is when my own biro will work. At the point of renewal, she presented her paper, and I said, this university will no longer be able to retain you. Very simple. And that was how we got. If you, a graduate assistant, can start that way, by the time you become a professor, you will insult the visitor. Every day, anytime you read the newspaper, there must be something negative about the university. There must be something negative. How can you, a system where you are collecting money every month, you are always writing negatively about it? And then some people will tell me, they will tell me that, Mr. Vice Chancellor, detractors are also to be encouraged, and that you should even pray for them because they keep you on your toes. And I draw a distinction immediately. There is what you call constructive criticism. There is what you call destructive criticisms. When you engage in destructive criticism, you are evil. You are evil personified. You are a projection of everything that is negative. As Vice Chancellor, I personally experienced leadership of a staff union who saw nothing wrong in misconduct, bordering on sexual harassment, financial impropriety, cash for grade, racketeering, complicity in cultism. They, on a coconut, we are going to have a coconut breaking ceremony. This group of people, they invited cultists to come and attack us. One of those that they invited called us and alerted us and mentioned the names of those who invited them to come and disrupt it. Those were the names I wanted to mention. Should I mention them? I'll be thinking of it before I come to the end of the lecture. Some of the union officials were neck deep in these activities. Yet, these rogue individuals found consortium instead of reprehension within the union. I have extensively detailed my views on this in another paper titled Excellence, Academic Leadership, and Governance of Higher Education, Themes and Praxis of Peter Akinshola Okebukola. In this paper, I am more concerned about how we take responsibility for the future of our university in the face of the mischief of this minuscule minority, who take pride and are adept in frustrating and distorting the vision of the majority. Will we allow ourselves to be dragged into needless conflict that set back our standing and sorted us into factions turned against one another, or recapture our perspective of common purpose, which is capable of propelling us forward? The choice of how we develop and to what extent our university should grow is ours to make. As noted by Winston Churchill, when he was receiving an honorary degree from Harvard University in October 1943, the price of greatness is responsibility. If we are to ensure long-term competitiveness of our university, then we must recognize our responsibility to our institution and thus be strategic and measured in our reactions and responses. We must run away from Pyrrhic victory. Sad but true is the point earlier made that some individuals in our system benefit when the university is in crisis and will thus want the institution to be perpetually engulfed in crisis. How I so wish my friend, brother, and amazing pal, Professor Oluwole Ebenezer Omikorede, is alive today to witness the success of the cause for which he struggled. together with the duo of Professors Adele Konfakoya and Biodun Akinpelu, please stand up. The three of you, please stand up. When I was talking about Arason Ategunfe, these two people and Professor Omikorede of blessed memory, they stood up and they were vehemently asking that question: what has this man done that you want to chase him away? What has this man done that you want to chase him away? They had a meeting and agreed at that meeting that within 6 months, they must get this man off. These people, at the end of the day, they were able to bring some other people to join them. I'll call them later. Please sit down. They refused to keep quiet in the face of evil. In the great quote of Edmund Burke, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. In fact, I say that silence in the face of evil can amount to complicity. At the early stages of the administration, when I was confronted with incessant attacks and humiliation by a small but highly vocal, deeply entrenched cabal, so many good people were privately phoning and praying for me, but did not act. However, in the heat of my being accused by the cabal of authoritarian tendencies and leading a university wholly permeated and bedeviled by maladministration, corruption, naked violation of university principles, and rights of workers. That was how they described me. The three professors above referred publicly stood to be counted. The events leading to the incessant attacks and its aftermath is a story already captured in my memoirs, which will soon be released. I thank you for your priceless support at that most critical time. This heart of mine will never forget you. I know Mrs. Omikorede should be online watching this. Mrs. Omikorede, I thank you for what your husband did to support me. I will in a moment say something about the team of liberators that you are constrained to lead in order to put up a voice for what is true at Congress meetings that are never commenced on schedule, deliberately to frustrate the majority from attending, thereby paving the way for predetermined decision of the minuscule minority to be issued as a resolution of the Congress. Professor Lakin Akintola, is Professor Lakin Akintola around? Professor Lakin Akintola described those resolutions as evil resolutions. They will call a meeting for 12 o'clock. That meeting will never stand until 3 o'clock. So that any right-thinking person who has a business to do will have left. Then when it is 3 o'clock, some 5, 6, 7, 8 people will now sit down. Agreed? Agreed. Those who say yes, yes. Those who say nay, nobody. And then they will say resolution carried. In the same vein, I will want to thank Comrade Agnes Sesi. Comrade Agnes Sesi, please stand up. Remove your mask. A highly principled woman who is forever bold and confrontational in the face of injustice. Stacy refined the term comrade. For her, you are a comrade if you are faithful to justice and fairness. She will openly depart from you if you are unfair, irrespective of how you codename yourself. At a point, they went around all the union leaders in other areas and other areas of activity, food processing, Nigerian Labour Congress. They went all around them and gave a picture of the kind of corrupt person, the kind of wicked person that I am. Agnes Sesi stood up at all these events to defend them and telling them, you are not a member of this university. I am one of you. I'm telling you that these guys are not telling you the truth. On one occasion, I had opportunity to celebrate this woman when she was appointed NLC chair. And good enough, all the labor union officers in Nigeria were all there. I had 10 minutes to talk to them. And when I finished, you need to see the response. There was one man there who had, when he came up to the podium, he said, Mr. Vice Chancellor, I must say this. I hated you to my bone marrow before I came here. I did not come here because of you. I came because of her. But I think it is God that brought me here. Hearing what you have said here, I must beg for your forgiveness. And what did the man do? When the daughter was going to get married, the man said, VC, you will be the chairman of that event. Comrade Agnes Sesi, thank you for keeping faith with the truth. Please sit down, man. I want to thank the current leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU LASU. Same goes for NAT LASU, SANU LASU, NASU LASU. Please, the leaders of these unions, please stand up. Please stand up, please. Please, that is NAT. That is NAT. Where is SANU? Yeah, yes, I can see. Okay, good. I can see ASU there. I can see ASU there. Good, good, good. I can see them there. You know, in times past, what this minority will do, what this minority will do is they will tell so much lies and go ahead to incite other unions. But what I always do is I was having regular meetings with them. So when this issue came to the fore, they came to meet me and I explained to them. They carried their respected members along, and that was what saved the day. I thank you so much. I thank you. I thank you. When you see the material that has been published, all of you, your details are there for posterity. I must also express the Students' Union. Where is the president of the Students' Union? All union leaders between 2016 to date in this hall, please stand up. Please stand up. If you have been a student leader between 2016, yes, yes. These are the war generals at the Students' Union level. Thank you. One of them, when he first became the president of the Students' Union, he will not want to move near me. He will say, VC, Emagbemi Mora. But when he understood the vision, he became an active protector of that vision. Guys, I thank you so much for what you did. God bless you. God bless you. I must also express my deep appreciation to the body of professors and associate professors led by distinguished Professor Anateka. On the 15th of September 2017, this group at a meeting attended by 47 academic staff in the professorial cadre robustly debunked the allegation of the erstwhile ASU LASU executives, which falsely claimed that members of the union executive who were dismissed were being victimized by the university management. They not only clarified that the dismissal of the affected staff was based on the extant rules and regulations of the university, they further condemned the undue interference of the zonal coordinator of ASU Lagos Zone, Professor Olushi Jishowande, for calling a press conference on LASU, the content of which did not emanate from ASU LASU Congress. Professor Anateka and team, I thank you for taking leadership and for standing up for truth and for speaking out for what is right. Let me close this segment with the liberators. I do recognize the role you play to give stability. And for this reason, I have noted to a few critics that this strategic alliance of like minds was born out of necessity. The crude, blatant, and sometimes violent tactics of that small minority earlier referred to was such that the successes we are celebrating today will probably not have come to fruition. There was the need for an independent, fearless voice to confront them and leave the Vice Chancellor free to remain productive. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just one encounter with the propaganda, false narratives, and both violent and non-violent intimidating tactics of this toxic group will explain why many are nervous or afraid to speak up, and why a number of others have convinced themselves that staying quiet is the best option. I thank you for making it possible for me to stay focused. That said, I want to plead that because of a tomorrow that will come, when most of us will have left the space for younger colleagues, you must ensure that as many people as possible become a part of that moral imperative that is able to stand up for what is right, whether it is management or government. The last thing your good self will want is for some individuals in the years to come to hijack the idea of the liberators, turn its philosophy and orientation upside down, and become another divisive force. I now come to fostering higher level scholastic performance. Our goal at the starting point in January 2016 was to achieve high-level creative and scholastic performance for both academic staff and students. We can proudly say that this was achieved pursuant to the healthy rivalry that we are able to foster between faculties. You will see that I've detailed the various things that we have done, over 170 lectures, 25 inaugural lectures, 11 active international partnerships, 35 active. Then all our academic programs increased from 65 to 70, all of them fully accredited. We've strengthened the Center for CGNS, establishment of ODLRI, that's the Open and Distance Learning, establishment and commencement of Director of Quality Assurance, Directorate of Research Management and Innovation, Directorate of Linkages, Partnerships and Collaborations. These are the various things. Institution of the LASU Research Fair, and then operation of the Career Development Center, which is one of the foremost in Nigeria as of today. Conversion program for HND holders. We got Papama Kodiola to endow a molecular biology laboratory. 266 academic and non-academic members were sponsored to attend local and international conferences. We were able to acquire over 20,802 volumes of books, and also acquired 3,078 volumes of journals. Faculty members published over 3,225 articles and book chapters, and wrote 273 books. Our professors continue to give their expertise globally. We instituted the Distinguished Professorship rank, where we have two of our very distinguished professors now sitting. Emeritus Professor has also been instituted. And from all indicators, we already have somebody that is coming on that seat. All through the period of COVID-19 lockdown, ACE drew the best of facilitators. The center, between March and August, delivered 650 lectures, spanning 767 contact hours, and 25 courses during the period of that lockdown. Again, then during the period of the lockdown, we organized 13 web-based public lectures and 8 web-based staff training. A lot of kudos must go to the Director of Research and Innovation, Professor Odusoya. Thank you very much. He also drove, Professor Odusoya, thank you very much. He also drove that initiative that put us as second best university in Nigeria. He drove it. We are also incredibly proud of the achievements and performances of our students within the period of 2016 to date. These outstanding performances reflect the resourcefulness of our students, the hard work of staff, support of parents and guardians. I'll just make mention of some of these things. It's all detailed in the documents in your hand. No longer do our students go out onto the streets. We have become a school of choice, consistently oversubscribed at every round of admission. You will see the way our students, summary of all our students are performing now. You will see all of that in the table there. We instituted the Distinct Guest Lecture Series aimed at providing an interface between students and their role models. We successfully hosted 4 editions of the Ready Set Work, instituted the LASU Career Fair 2019. Several of our students consistently engaged in national and international academic publications. In the area of sports, we won the maiden edition of African Students Football 2019, Remita Campus Football Challenge 2019, and also won the African Badminton Championship in Mauritius 2020. We won medals at the 14th West African University Games 2018, turned up as quarter-finalists at the Higher Institution Football League in 2019, and represented Nigeria in judo at the World University Games in 2019. In March 2016, I challenged students of the School of Communication to open LASU Radio. I got to them at Tuju Elegba, and I said, I saw a building that they wrote LASU Radio. Why is that place not working? They said they are waiting for one consultant to come and open the place. Said consultant, let the students, I asked the students, can you run that radio? They said yes. Said, I give you 1 week. 1 week, go into that radio station. Then some people said that they can spoil it. Said when they spoil it, we will repair it. That is why you have spare parts. Let them go there. Today, if you want to test what I've said, go to LASU Radio. You will see how they serenade you. We instituted several, okay. I've also mentioned academic performance of our graduates, and you see all of that detailed in the document. And I noted that the result of the rigorous selection and strict admission process, where now we ensure that 70% minimum comes in on merit, is beginning to manifest. As of January 2016, I must note this. Our postgraduate school had not admitted students for 2 academic sessions. As of January 2016, when we started, for 2 sessions, the postgraduate school had not admitted any students. When I came on board, shortly before, I called a friend of mine, and I told him, if it comes out that I'm appointed, you will be the one to lead the PG school. As of that time, I had not been appointed, but we had done the interview. So I said, if it comes out that I am the person appointed, get ready to be the Dean PG school. Go to Ife, go to Ibadan, go to OOU, go to FUNAB. We agreed about 7 universities. Go and get their documents. Aggressively be ready to run the PG school. Today, the man in question has turned the PG school round. It is now running electronically, and they have done so much. Professor Olagunju in PG school. If you look at the summary of what he has done, it will shock you. Between 2016, for a PG school that has not admitted for 2 years, between 2016 and 2020, that PG school admitted 22,564 students. And that PG school graduated 22,555 students. Thank you. Thank you for what you did. Finally, our institution has now become a veritable source from where employers of labor feel confident to recruit. I have detailed all the bodies and individuals in the material. You will see all of them detailed there. Also, between 2016 and 2020, the postgraduate school introduced 53 new programs, all of them on contemporary issues and contemporary subject areas. I go on to how we consolidated on previous gains of the university. The goal of this strategic imperative was to rebrand the institution, aggressively revamp collapsed infrastructure, complete ongoing constructions, and bring on board new infrastructure. We recognize from the starting point that funding of education is a collective responsibility. Thus, we were determined to explore all opportunities available to us within the remit of excellence. Constantly nudge the state government to have confidence in us and encourage the private sector to recognize that investment in our institution can both be financially profitable and a legacy that will enhance their corporate reputation, among others. We did the following. We established the Directorate of Advancement. Professor BME Olatunji Bello, please stand up, man. Professor BME Olatunji Bello, where are you? Oh, online. Professor BME Olatunji Bello led that team, and they have done remarkably well. We resuscitated all our programs that were dead. Pre-degree studies. Olowu, Professor Olowu, stand up. This man did remarkably well with the but for this man, where is Director Sandwich? Where is Director Good? Where is Director Jupeb? Dr. Shegun Adiola? Good. But for these three people, probably some of us would not have been earning salaries. But for their effectiveness, monies from these different sources have done a lot for us. I thank you for what you have been doing. Thank you. Thank you. We operationalized the LASU International School. The different chairmen, members of LASU International School present in this hall, please stand up. Please stand up, please, please. These were the people. LASU International can compete with the very best anywhere in Nigeria and outside. These people made it possible. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. There is a man in this hall that I must recognize. Some people were bold enough to go and meet this man, not to do his statutory duty. And when the man refused to listen to them, the man said, I'm a dean. You are telling me not to do my work as a dean. He was with us on sabbatical. The man said, you are asking me not to do my work as a dean. Why? They said, if you do it, we will make sure that ASU of your university, they finish you. The man said, you go ahead and do what you will do. I will do my work. Professor Kennedy, please stand up. The toxic few, they met him and said he should not do his work when he was Dean of Agriculture. Please sit down, sir. These are the names I would have mentioned, but for the fact that they said I should not mention names. We initiated strategic alliance with corporate bodies for them to see potentials of the university and how our relationship with them can be mutually beneficial. We gave a boost to security through the recruitment of a top-notch security officer. Is the CSO around? CSO, if you're around, just wait. That's the CSO. That man has been in charge of the security with his team. Security operatives, just come in and let them see you. Yes, just come in, don't wait from the back. We will never hide you. We will never hide you. We will never hide you. These are the great people. See the way they are dressed. Red berets. I give you my salute. Thank you very much. Thank you. We initiated the publication of our annual report, which we have talked about, published our brochure to sell ourselves. We established cordial relationship with Tech Fund, and hear what the chairman of Tech Fund said about us. The man said, since my appointment as chairman, today is my happiest day. Since we embarked on these visits, LASU is the greatest testimony that Tech Fund is performing. And because of what we have seen and heard, I promise you, we'll do more. Indeed, I'm encouraged for us to do more for LASU. The beauty of it was, as he was doing that for LASU, he was doing my own too. Right there and then he said, VC LASU, All the deans were there. Everybody was there. He said, VC Lasso, when you finish, an office is waiting for you in Abuja. Come and resume at TED Fund. He ensured the attendance of high-ranking dignitaries at events of the university to affirm the credibility of the institution. We also restructured LASU Ventures and established LASU Consult. We strengthened LASU, the LASU Center for Information, Press and Public Relations, DCIPPR. I am sure every one of us will clap for them. Adekoya and team. Adekoya and team. Multimedia, please. Multimedia, stand up with them. Multimedia. These are people who made it to work. These are the great minds. Thank you. Thank you for all you did. Thank you. Thank you. We renovated, completed, and commenced various building projects. With respect to infrastructure, you see the different tables. In terms of construction inherited and completed, 1 project. Building construction commenced and completed, 13. Building construction commenced by the administration and ongoing, 6. Buildings renovated by the administration, 14. Projects conceived and funds already sourced, which will continue by the time I have left, 8 of them. In recognition of the efforts of a number of people who have at different times meritoriously served the university, we have fully institutionalized the tradition of immortalizing our heroes and heroines. All our past vice chancellors, all our past pro-chancellors, and when I say past, President Nino Lowo, past for the 10th Governing Council, current for the 11th Governing Council, all of them, we have immortalized them. I now come to our roadmap for attracting funds. I took up the reins of the university at a time of great financial uncertainty. Thus, I had no doubt in my mind that we must secure the university's financial position. When we started out in 2016, the subvention of the university was grossly inadequate to meet the personnel cost. At the same time, the tuition revenue and income from the LASU external program, which was already winding down, were insufficient to meet the funding gap. Working together with the Governing Council and the entire university community, we were able to leverage on the unique setting of Lagos and also took advantage of our multi-campus setting to quickly ramp up new programs. When we came in, the IGR was 809,959,115 naira. By the second, third year, our IGR had gone to 2,90,672,000. You see all the figures there. When we started out, our monthly subvention was 395. We were able to get it increased in the first instance to 450 and then move to 550. The challenge with the above was that we were augmenting our personnel costs with as much as 100 million naira every month, with the result that we were not able to effectively meet operational expenses. Further, the handicap was such that we were also not able to regularly renovate our facilities, and most times constrained to wait to so do when accreditation by NUC and other professional bodies was around the corner. Faced with the above, what did we do? Faced with the above, what did we do? We took steps to make a justification to government on the need to increase the subvention of the university. In recognition of the fact that government cannot fund education alone, we also involved undergraduate programs that will entitle our students to the degree in their main program and both local and international certification in their entrepreneurship program. The pilot scheme of these dual programs clearly showed that our students were ready to pay the premium that the entrepreneurship program will attract. We became innovative with our postgraduate programs, beaming our focus on master's and PhD degrees that will meet the demands of our changing world and attract more students. Leveraging on the support of the Lagos State government, steps are ongoing to start up the LASU Business School. Mr. Governor mentioned that yesterday. We have also, with the full support of the state government, commenced steps to regularize the land holding of those who illegally trespassed on the landed property of the university at the Ojo campus. The funds generated from the exercise is to be strategically invested, consistent with strategic priorities of the university and her long-term financial plan. With the above steps, we were confident of additional revenue that will significantly increase our IGR. Indeed, the additional revenue expected from the new programs, new stream of tuition, and the regularization project were all projected to come in from year 2020. It is instructive that prior to 2016, the university had done away with manual operations and was regularly subject to the oversight of the offices of the Auditor General, Special Advisor on Education, and the House of Assembly, among others. So we were not open to the risk of revenue leakage, as all our financial transactions could easily be tracked. At the point when we felt we had put in place a clear roadmap for increasing our IGR, the COVID-19 pandemic came, and its impact brought unexpected turbulence and disruption to higher education institutions. Our university, just like other universities globally, ceased the normal operations, and since March 2020, has been grappling with the new normal. Since resumption in September 2020, our focus has been on how to integrate a hybrid of face-to-face and online education. I cannot thank colleagues, academic and non-academic, and our world-class students enough for rising up to the difficult challenge posed by COVID-19 pandemic. Our appreciation to Mr. Governor for supporting us during the critical period of lockdown to be in a position to beef up our capacity for connectivity and online education. As is to be expected, however, we immediately realized that our financial survival will be put to serious test. The new income streams, which we are pushing to meet our funding requirements, will be delayed. To meet this challenge, a first step we took was to set up a committee on financial sustainability with the task of presenting a document that will further open up additional implementable financial generating and sustainable propositions. The terms of reference of the committee as follows: identify short and long-term income generating opportunities for the university, develop strategies to immediately harness the identified opportunities to boost the financial strength of the university, identify possible processing efficiency and waste in the system, and make recommendations on steps to address the problems. To make recommendations on any other matter that may be directly or indirectly incidental to the assignment. The core task of the committee was to develop a document for the university that will address the best means possible to generate additional income that are sustainable and ambitious enough to see the university eventually relax its heavy dependence on government for financial sustenance. In a very comprehensive report, which identified both short-term and long-term income generating strategies with actualization plan, and same which has now been approved by the Governing Council for implementation, the committee proposed a 3-key strategic plan for revenue diversification. I'm going to please humbly and respectfully ask members of the 11th Governing Council here present to please stand up. Members of the 11th, I humbly request that you please stand up. Please remove your mask, let them see you, sir.
These are the people. They jumped in immediately. They recognized the challenge. And as we were taking these issues to them, they were giving us robust support. Thank you very much for what you are doing for us. We are so grateful. God will continue to be with you. The kind of encouragement you have given us is just amazing. You are supersonic. Thank you very much. Please sit down. The core task of the committee. The committee proposed a 3-key strategic plan for revenue diversification. Income growth, which will focus on short and long-term income generating opportunity. Efficiencies, which has its focus on the elimination of duplication across faculties, schools, departments, and units, and profiling innovative process improvement. Review of some existing practices, focusing on a careful critical appraisal of some current revenue generating approaches. Before I go to that next one, let me say this. It was in September, after COVID, after the initial lockdown, that we brought on board this committee. And those who are saying this vice chancellor should have taken his leave 6 months before, they said, why is he, now that he's leaving, why is he bringing a committee of this nature now? And I tell them, it's only a bad leader. A problem will meet you on the seat, and you will not start profiling solutions. And you quietly sit and allow your time to go, expecting your successor to come and start off with the problem. I will not do that. I want to ask Professor Motayo and members of the Financial Sustainability Committee to please stand up. Professor Motayo, members of the Financial Sustainability Committee. Okay, that's their chairman at the back. That's their chairman, Professor Motayo, and those are the members. Just stand up, don't sit down. My heartfelt gratitude to the chairman and members of that committee for their relentless and timely unconditional support, which produced this insightful document. Going forward, I believe your efforts will tremendously impact on our financial sustainability as a higher education institution. From deep within me, I say thank you to you. As you sit down, I will ask Professor Motayo alone to stand up. Remove your mask, let them see you. This Professor Motayo, in relation to the LASU hostel project, we were in negotiation. We were in negotiation with all the contractors. Prof, for how many years? 2 years. How many years? 5. We were in negotiation with the contractors. And you know, for that kind of project, contractors will never just sign. They were arguing every bit of the document. Who was our face? My face at those meetings? Professor Motayo. Not for one day. This is the instructive part of it. Not for one day. In a week, Professor Motayo will attend at least 2 or 3 meetings. Professor Motayo stays at the other end of Agege. The meetings were taking place at Victoria Island. 2 or 3 times in a week, Professor Motayo will be at Victoria Island from 9 a.m. in the morning till around 10 a.m. I did not sign a single fuel voucher for Motayo for all those years. In the course of it, the engine of his vehicle knocked. I told him, I said, please allow us to repair this. He said, hey, PC, don't worry yourself. One day it will knock, even if it is not for this, I'll repair it. That is what he has done. Professor Motayo, I thank you, sir. I thank you, sir. Please sit down. It is worthy of note that our appeal to the state government in respect of our submission, in respect of our subvention, met with some measure of success, for which again, we must express our deep appreciation to Mr. Governor. In October 2020, the government increased our monthly subvention to 617 million to accommodate the minimum wage, which, with the initial gap in our funding, had already taken our personnel cost to 665 million. What we have at the moment as a shortfall is around 48 million plus or slightly higher than that. Another fundamental step we took was to develop a strategic roadmap titled Putting Lagos State University in Global Competition, a strategic roadmap. In this roadmap, we outline how we will build on our present record of commitment to excellence and record of achievements to create an exciting future for the university and the communities of which it is a part, particularly Lagos State and the global community in general. It is a future where the university is positioned to produce graduates who are adequately equipped and sufficiently motivated to address the needs of our immediate environment and contribute to national economic development. Consequently, every of our actions will be guided by the need to develop graduates who are adequately equipped with workplace and life skills. The goal is to realize in a few years from now the future entrepreneurial university of our dream, making giant leaps in technology and innovation and securing our future as a university of influence. My deep and sincere appreciation to those individuals who worked with me in the development of this very important document. I make reference to the registrar, Mr. Olayinka Amuni, Professor Olumiwa Odusoya, Professor Abiodun Adewuya, Provost of the College of Medicine, Professor Elkana Oyetunji, Dean Faculty of Engineering, Professor Adenike Boyo, Dean Faculty of Science, Professor Akin Onofalujo, Faculty of Management Sciences, Dr. Oluwatoyin Enikuomeyin, Acting Head, Department of Computer Sciences, Dr. Ayotunde Ayodele, Acting Head, Department of English, Dr. Moruyi Eke, and Messrs. Sherifuddin Kehinde Ishmael and Kayode Mautin Adebayo. They work to produce that document. The last segment of it is making LASU a valued partner to the Lagos State government. I've detailed, when you look at that, a number of things that our faculties have done, specifically in the context of not just doing research, but translating the research to what will have impact on the society. And you see it, all of that cataloged. You see what the College of Medicine is doing. You see what the School of Transport is doing. You see what the Career Development Center is doing. You see what Social Sciences is doing. You see what CESAID, Center for Environmental Studies and Sustainable Development, is doing. What Faculty of Education is doing. What Faculty of Law is doing. You see them there in specific details. And then sciences. What Faculty of Science is doing. Center for Planning Studies, Management Sciences, and the Latif Akoni Hussein Institutes of Radiation Monitoring. What they are doing, you see all of these things there. Let me go to our benefactors. The competitiveness of Nigerian universities on a global scale stems largely from the level of tertiary education funding in the country. As noted in my contribution to the book, Global AIDS and Tertiary Education in Nigeria. At current conditions, our tertiary institutions are not likely to midwife the socio-political, economic, and technological transformation so badly required after over 5 decades of independence and self-governance. The stark reality is that though it has become a cliche for many to assert that the education sector is important to be solely a government project, not many public-spirited individuals are stepping into that space in Nigeria. Worse still, there are Nigerians who made money from transactions in Nigeria, but will prefer to promote institutions in other countries rather than being a benefactor of institutions in Nigeria. It is for this reason that I must duly acknowledge the support of our benefactors. Your role has been of tremendous importance in the advancement of our university's strategic priorities over the years. We do recognize that you have a choice on how to expand your hand-and funds. Thus, you're making a choice of our institution as the focal point of your support is a clear reflection of your desire to invest in our future and to assist to translate our mission and values into excellence in teaching, research, and community service. Your contribution is part of what is significantly projecting our global standing and reputation. Let me also use this opportunity to challenge the alumni to push our members to adopt a more coordinated and joined-up approach as they continue to make vital contributions in the funding of buildings and purchase of much-needed equipment. We wish to assure you that we will remain accountable. It is for this reason that we have also taken the decision to regularly publish the names of our benefactors in our convocation brochure and annual report. We thank you for believing in us. My final thoughts. What do I see as the future of our great institution? We have shown courage and determination in driving change, but there's also the burden of legacy, which you must bear. The institution started in 1984, has grown to become a university operating on 3 campuses with 7 faculties, 4 schools, 8 academic centers, 3 directorates, 1 institute, and a college of medicine. Over the years, we have taken bold and innovative strategies that have moved the university to an enviable position in Nigeria. In January 2016, I noted in my inaugural address that opportunity beckons. Today, and from this vantage point where I stand, I say that we are ready to take a leap to the next phase of becoming globally competitive with a focus on innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. This is what we have captured in the document, Putting Lagos State University in Global Competition, a strategic roadmap. The vision of the entrepreneurial Lagos State University is to inspire a community where our staff, students, other stakeholders, and partners are challenged to forge a transformative partnership committed to driving innovation and sustaining a science and technology-based economy in a climate of global competition. The envisaged impact of the vision includes both academic and economic growth of the university and its faculty, increased revenue to Lagos State, economic development of the state, faster industrial growth, and job creation for the community. Key components of the transformation plan includes close collaboration with government and industry, high impact research and development, student-centered approach to service delivery, development of a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, availability of critical infrastructure, development of a science and technology park, and the engagement of highly skilled and competent human resources. Every faculty, school, college, center, directorate, and unit has critical roles to play in this envisaged future. Social innovation requires technological development to achieve its success. In the same way, technological innovations must pay close attention to social contexts in order to be fit for market and society, and that is where the humanities come in fully. Strategies to bring transformation to fruition involve a quantum investment by Lagos State government, symbiotic and close partnership with the industry in several areas, and industry-relevant research and development to uptake and utilization of products. Other strategies include technology mapping, establishment of spin-off companies,
ló bá ká gbogbo kọ́tìn. Ìyàwó ọmọ nǹkan tó fẹ́ kì í ṣe fún mi. Ṣé o ti fẹ́ kúrò ní tìǹbù?
Wọ́n ti gba host wọn padà.
Nígbà wọn ti mọ̀ nǹkan tó ṣe. Nígbà
and should not be accepted. The VC should not impose a candidate on the system. His tenure is over, and he should leave. For more than 30 minutes, the VC spoke on why I should not be considered. That I went to the selection committee on the day they were doing their shortlisting, and I addressed the selection committee for 30 minutes. Immediately that thing came on, I realized that it will impugn my credibility. It will impugn the credibility of members of that selection committee, and that the ploy was simply to erode the legitimacy of the process. So I directed the registrar to issue a query. Lo and behold, this gentleman came back saying the whole thing was fabricated and false. This was a man who served as a deputy vice chancellor to me for 4 years. I said it so that when the stories are being peddled, all of you will not be in doubt. You know, there's so many people I wanted to mention their names, but I've been prevailed upon, and that is why I'll just mention that one, because it was a hit below the belt. My conclusion: the development of any human institution thrives where there is an active collaboration. And you know what I say about begging culture? Quite a number of people are moving around now begging for him. When he was circulating that and destroying my own personality, you did not beg him not to do it. Now that the man is being asked to explain and substantiate, give details of where he did it, you are begging for him not to be sanctioned. You are begging for him not to face the disciplinary committee. I don't think it is fair. Milk of human kindness should be what will benefit the majority, not what will benefit the minority. As I say, if you are bold enough to transgress, be bold enough to face the consequences. The development of any human institution thrives where there is an active collaboration between people as change agents, capital deployed into projects, and systems and structures for the overall transformation of the society and the personal development of the agents of change. This is the trust of the quote credited to Vinci Lombardi to the effect that individual commitment to a group effort, that is what makes a team work, a company work, a society work, a civilization work. In view of this assertion, I wish to state without an iota of doubt that in the last 5 years of my stewardship, the Lagos State University, like every human organization comparable to a living organism, has had its assembly of units function as a whole. In other words, it was the symmetry of brilliant ideas and energy emanating from the brilliant minds across the LASU academic and administrative landscape that produced the harmony of peace, progress, and development we have all witnessed. This upward trend must never be allowed to suffer any reversal. Like Oliver Twist, we must be hungry for more excellence, laurels, innovation, national and international recognition, and positive impact on our state, Lagos State, Nigeria, and the global community. Looking ahead into the future, let me echo Henry Ford, who once said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. The unity that has brought about the great transformation of our university is just the beginning to move beyond where we are into the entrepreneurial university of our dream. We must remain together. And it is when we continue to work together that our success will become sustainable. Let me close this lecture on a note of appreciation to all the stakeholders who have been involved in the LASU project. I salute and thank you all. To my team members, particularly those who worked with me in the preparation of my valedictory speech, I say thank you. Let me ask the following people to stand up. Anna Tadesukomi, Dr. Ayotunde Ayodele, stand up, just remain standing. Dr. Tony Enikuomeyin, Adewale Aderemi is not here. Igot Ofem, Temitope Yerokun Oloko, Remi Savage Oyekunle, Dr. Abosede Amowo, Mr. Wale Anthony, Sherifuddin Kehinde Ishmael, Laide Olubo. If there's somebody that I must really, where is Laide? Laide, raise up your hand, let them see you. This lady, in 5 years, this is the first public event that she will be attending. She's always sitting in the office managing that end. Temitope Ogumokun, Yetunde Oshodi, Bolaji Ramos, Toby Idowu, where is Toby? Kako Samuel, Pelumi Olugbenga is not around here. Abdurrahman Akim Olaiwola, Esther Momsen, Olayinka Taiwo, Ayodele Bello, Tosin, Agosu, where are they? Just wave. These are the thinking machines. These are the thinking machines who did all the work. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Please sit down. My dear wife, yesterday, come forward. I thank you so much for all that you have done, and God will bless you. I am deeply grateful. Thank you. It's been a great, don't go yet. It's been a great challenge, but you have weathered this storm. Fikayo, Mommy Champ, come. Olori, my stepmom, come. I don't think the matriarch, Mrs. Okwona, I don't think she's around. Come close. Thank you for everything. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the support. God bless you. You may go back. Thank you once again for what you have done. I'm appreciative. I want to thank all of you for tolerating me in the last 4 years and 11 months. The journey, no doubt, has been tough, but I have not walked alone. I want to thank my parents, His Royal Majesty, Abayomi Alabi FAGBOHUN, and Olori Dorcas Abisola FAGBOHUN, both of blessed memory, for the upbringing which has continuously shaped my life. To Allah, I give all glory. The first meeting we had, I noted to this great and distinguished gathering that I am only a symbol of your authority, a symbol of collective governance. I am as strong as you make me. Therefore, I need you to make me strong. I say today, as I take my exit, that you indeed made me strong. I thank you all.
We are Lasso. Let us continue to appreciate the Vice Chancellor. Now we can say Emeritus Vice Chancellor, Lagos State University, is the first person. Because of time, there are so many presentations we want to have, but because of time, we will not be able to do that. I will quickly call on the Chairman and Chairman of Governing Council, Professor Nino Luwu, to talk to us for just 2 minutes. Thank you so much.
You see, people are living in droves. Register, what do you make of this? Ladies and gentlemen, please, we shall be rounding up. Don't let us be speaking as it were to almost empty rooms. Be patient, please. Professor Olanrewaju, Adigun, FAGBOHUN, SAN, MPOM, distinguished Vice Chancellor, soon to be Vice Chancellor Emeritus. Please congratulate him. You see, by my habit and temperament, anytime I've had occasion to play this role, I said something at the beginning. I anticipated what the distinguished lecturer, the Vice Chancellor, was going to be talking about. And we were all there seated. You know, everybody now has a copy each of the text of the lectures. Who am I to be trying to summarize to you? No, it will be an anticlimax. I'm not into engaging in anticlimax. Therefore, let me say this, Mr. Distinguished Vice Chancellor. Like the ancient Romans will say, they will say, "Weni, widi, wiki." You came, you saw, and you conquered knowledge and administration. You are an amazing human being. Mrs. Tayo Labenjo, a distinguished member of the 10th Governing Council, you know, when she was going to reassure me that she would attend this occasion, she sent this message to me, very instructive. She said she will come. Why? Because Professor FAGBOHUN, the Vice Chancellor, is my kind of person. Please appreciate that. Is the kind of statement you refer to as being aphoristic, pregnant with a lot of meanings. It's obvious what she meant by Professor FAGBOHUN being a kind of person. Is he not your kind of person? Of course you are. Now, let me round up my little speech by saying this. I'm very glad you didn't mention, at the end of the day, you didn't mention any names. You know? I mean, you know, you refer to about a toxic group. I still refer to them as nihilist forces, anarchists, apocalypse. You see, you know why I'm glad you didn't mention them? At the end of the day, the bit about eating, somebody eating below the bed. At the end of the day, by description, who will not know the specific name? But I'm glad you didn't mention any names. Why am I glad you didn't mention? Look at this glorious occasion. You wouldn't want names of scallywags to be spiritually tainting what is otherwise an August occasion. This is why I'm glad you didn't mention it, but we know them. We know them. We know them. We know them. And a lot of them, members of the toxic group, the needy forces, they won't be here present. But I can assure you one thing. They have godfathers and godmothers. Pretenders. They pretend that they are not sponsoring certain unholy activities. Look at you. By the time they are trying to catch up with you, you are miles ahead. And the righteous members of this community, they are with you. And they are happy with you. They are happy for you. So we don't need their names. We know them. They don't belong to us. Gradually, they will chip out. They are going to chip out. You had your eyes wide open. You engage in infraction of conditions of service and university law against the tenet of the rule of law. Meaning that you offered yourself as sacrificial lambs, engaging in self-immolation. Be courageous enough to bear the consequences. Why begging? Begging. We are not into community. This is not community of begging or beggars. This is not community of mendicants. So once again, you came, you saw, and you conquer knowledge and administration. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We are last two. Yes, while we are appreciating the chairman, the double chairman for today's occasion, the ASU-LASU members, another union want to present something to the Vice Chancellor for 1 minute. Chairman, it is 1 minute. Let me remove this microphone. As soon as it is over 1 minute, then I take the microphone from them. People are going to the mosque. And immediately the registrar will give the vote of thanks. Thank you. 1 minute, please.
Thank you very much. I want to start by first greeting the elders on the table. And good afternoon, our LASU community. We've been celebrating the Vice Chancellor for quite a while. And it is really worth it if we continuously, celebrate him. Without wasting much of our time, it is important we honor those who have really worked tirelessly for the progress we are celebrating today. Let me start first with our university librarian, Dr. Olanrewaju Adebayo. Dr. Olanrewaju Adebayo, can you please come forward? Is he here? You are here. So, sir, on behalf of all the unions, on behalf of the leadership of ASU-LASU, this award is presented to you in recognition and appreciation of your support for the success of the tenure of Professor Olanrewaju Abdul-Hakim Adigun FAGBOHUN's tenure of office. Thanks so much, sir. Yeah. The next award goes to the revolutionary-minded and quintessential Vice Chancellor of the second best university in Nigeria and the 11th best university in Africa. Join me to present this award to our world-class Vice Chancellor in the person of Professor Olanrewaju Abdul-Hakim Adigun FAGBOHUN. Thanks so much for all you have done for us, sir. May Almighty God continue to reward you and take you from level to level. We remain very grateful, sir. Thanks so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Let me call the registrar to give the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of our Vice Chancellor and the entire Lagos State University community, we want to say a big thank you to all of us for committing your time to this event, leaving other important engagements to be part of this very historic occasion. We thank you so very much for coming. Let me especially appreciate, it's a long list of top-notch personalities that we have in the house and who have joined us online, but I must mention the following to thank them specially. Let me start with Her Excellency, the First Lady of Ogun State. We thank you, ma'am, for coming. I also want to thank Honorable Justice Oguntade, who's left. We thank him so very much. Honorable Yinka Ogundimo and other members of the Lagos State House of Assembly who are here, we thank all of you so very much. Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi, Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, who came all the way from Abuja to be part of this event. We thank you so much. I'm coming back to the chairman of council. Is the Egun lad that will carry Ibale. So I'll come back to you, sir. Professor Abikso Gunli, Alaji Seriki, and other former principal officers who have been with us this morning. We thank you so very much. Members, Professor Balogun, we thank you so very much. Distinguished professors Okebukola and Anatekai, we thank you so very much. Members of the 10th Governing Council, you've been part of Lagos State University and you are still supporting us. We thank you. Members of the 11th Governing Council, you've been part of our activities back to back in the last 2 weeks. Today you are also with us. You've taken pain to be with us from morning till now. We thank you and we appreciate you. Baba, our own father, we thank you so very much for always being with us, giving us that support that we require to do all the things that we need to do. There are some other important people. Farouk and Samad are online. They are part of this occasion. We thank the two of them and Grandma, we call her Grandma Cham, okay, for your continued support to our organ. We thank you guys very much. There are other first ladies in the house. First Lady FAGBOHUN and First Lady Nino Luo, we thank you, we thank you, we thank you. We cannot thank you guys enough. Lasso community, we thank you. Deans, directors, provosts, we thank you. Lasso world-class students, we thank you. God bless you. As you take your exit, the Almighty God will grant you journey mercies and be with you in Jesus' name. Thank you. The pressmen, I'm sorry. We thank you so very much for always projecting us positively out there. We thank you and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, the academic procession will leave in reverse order. We have been told that some of us will be entertained at the Visit Quadrangle.
Sorry, will you please remain standing as the procession will exit the hall in reverse order? Awodi Forum, we thank you. We thank you so much for being here. We thank you.
We are Lasso, we are proud. We are Lasso, we are proud.
Awodi Forum, we thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Alajo Lagbaye, we appreciate you, sir.
We are proud. We are Lasso, we are proud.
Yes, we appreciate all the deans. Yeah, we thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. Professor Akintola, thank you so much. I couldn't recognize you the other time. Thank you, sir. Dr. Senimi, thank you. Dean Education, Professor Olabi, thank you, sir. Professor Ajayi, thank you so much, sir. Distinguished Professor Martin Sanateka, thank you. Professor Olagunju, you have done wonderfully well, sir. Thank you. Professor Adewuya, we appreciate you, sir. Provost Lasukom, Acting Dean Student Affairs. Dr. Tajuddin Olumoko, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Yes, Lasso community, we thank you. We'll meet at the quadrangle for the next thing. Thank you so much. The pressmen here, we appreciate you. We are Lasso.
Professor Synergy, Araleda, new infrastructures everywhere, income generation, great transformation, for innovation, hail and Nim Lasu it's Nim Lasu Nim Lasu Professor Olanrewaju
hello. Hello.
Hello.
Great approach, great result. See the rankings number 2. Great approach, great result. We are LASU, we are proud. Great approach, great result. See the rankings number 2. Great approach, great result. We are LASU, we are proud. Great approach, great result. See the rankings number 2. Great approach, great result.
Hello.
We are LASU, we are proud. Great approach, great result. See the rankings number 2. Great approach, great result. We are LASU, we are proud. Effective committee system in place. Reaching out to great minds around. Promotions as at when due. Teaching and learning so effective.